broken system, chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes, just rot and greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
Hey everybody, it's Sunday night, so it's time for another episode of the Bullpen. I think this is what, number 71 or 72, something like that. It's been going for a while now.
You can say whatever
before we
number
get
you want.
started, Brahma, I think you'd be proud of me because look what I picked up. Smoke Wagon.
Smoke Wagon, unfiltered, uncut.
Yes.
Which batch? It's on the back.
It is batch 186A. This was bottled in 2023.
I mean,
Nice.
you've got to get batch 187. Murder, death, kill.
You gotta
Yeah,
get all the
187.
batches.
Yeah. So
Nah, it's good stuff. But
I
By
had
the
a
way, the
little bit
name
last
is
night,
like.
man.
remember
very-
how much that knocked you on your ass last time.
Oh, I know.
I'm just saying the name of
I'm
that
pacing
alcohol
myself.
is.
I'm not gonna drink the whole bottle here. So
That's the kind
well,
of the
you
name of the
do.
alcohol is a little bit homoerotic. It sounds like something you would drink after playing a hot, sweaty volleyball game with the boys.
Smoke Wagon.
Smoke Wagon, unfiltered and uncut.
Ew.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
it's not even. Never mind.
Matt, I was setting you up there, man.
I know. But
Unfiltered, uncut, and gay like mad.
new channel, not gay no more.
Yeah,
Oh,
he has,
mad.
He has sworn off that.
Are you going to be like Tom Cruise and run away from the gay thoughts?
No, I'm just not going to tell you about them.
He's gonna hide 'em
Unless
deep
it's
down
at a
inside.
bro over.
Yeah, well then, yeah.
Bro.
well, those are uncut and unfiltered. Everybody knows that.
Indeed.
True. Well, we've got our usual co-host and then special guest joining us once again, Keri Smith. How are you, Keri?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Is there a link I should tweet out?
Mad, do you want to get the tweet going? I'm horrible at that.
That's okay. Don't worry. We don't have to.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys. Look
Yeah.
at comics. Out from behind the avatar.
Yes,
I love
I
it.
am out from under the avatar. I figured since I was on George's channel and I had the camera on, the least I could do is have the camera on tonight.
Yeah, because I caught you on George's channel with the camera on.
Bingo.
Exactly. So we've got a lot this week. I guess we'll go back to the beginning of the week. We had the Epstein vote. Congress almost unanimously voted to release the Epstein files. Morons on the left think they own Trump with this move, but as he had said, Epstein was a dim and hung out with the Dims. So if we ever see
don't throw me in
anything-
that briar patch.
Yeah,
exactly.
if we ever
How
see
awful.
anything, it's likely to bring down a lot of Dims, though there may also be some Republicans caught up in it too. I don't think there's ever going to be any real accountability, but I do think that the release of this info will mean the only prosecutions we're going to see are prosecutions.
We got some accountability. We got Marjorie
Court of
Taylor
public opinion.
Greene retiring.
Yeah.
That was accountability because she couldn't get hurt. And that's one down. Massey next, and we'll be happy. Yay.
Yeah, Marjorie, we'll get to her after. Yeah. But so, I mean, we've already seen Plaskett get in trouble. We've seen Chasman Crockett try to cover up for Plaskett. We've seen a lot of crazy out of the Dims and a whole bunch of other stuff coming out that seems to be hurting them. The one thing that we're not hearing a lot of is, they jumped right back on Epstein right after the shutdown that went pretty poorly for the left. Then they jumped straight to Epstein to try to distract from the shutdown. And now the Epstein thing is pretty much out of the news. I mean, we haven't seen anything really yet.
So they didn't do anything with it then?
The Trump administration immediately moved for the judge who had previously kept the materials sealed to now unseal them based on the fact that this law that is now passed supersedes any previous reason to keep them sealed.
Right.
So if the only move so far is the Trump administration immediately jumping on trying to get a judge to get the materials out.
Yes, Trump looks so guilty in this by asking them to send out everything. I think he was trying to hold it in his back pocket for later, but I don't know.
Possibly.
And I mean, the whole thing's been a mess, but it'll be nice to not have to talk about it, once it actually gets released. We've got Dan Crane celebrating 6 months of membership. Thanks, Dan.
Did you get the memberships?
Copy Kitty, show sponsor, gifted 5 Brahma Bowl memberships. Thank you very much, Copied.
Copied, you can put what episode number you'd like this to be in the chat.
And we also have a kitty on stream now. Because he's a pain in the ass.
Oh, what's your kitty's name?
This is Jack, but we call him Little Man.
Little Man Jack.
Yeah. Well, technically, his name is Handsome Jack. He's named after the villain from Borderlands 2. And he is a villain because he's a cat, and he is handsome.
That's true. Cats are evil.
Yes.
Mark Daly for $5. Among the files released was Epstein's last note. Please excuse Jeffrey. He's been very depressed lately. Signed, Epstein's mother.
His mother's maiden name is Rodham.
Yeah.
It's just to circle back to why cats are evil. You never hear a story about Hachi, that dog that showed up for a decade waiting for his master who didn't come home from the train. A cat doesn't do that. Cat's like, F off, you're late 10 minutes.
They'll eat
you're
your
dead
face.
to me.
Yeah.
No, he is
Or
not a
food
Russian
now.
blue. I don't know what he is. I actually found him in a car. I mean, in the engine block of a car when he was a kitten. So I took him home. And he looks like a Russian blue, but he's not. At least I don't think he is.
If he was a Russian blue, he would now have rights to the Donbass.
Yes, he
which is
would.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, that, and you wouldn't be allowed on a conservative podcast because of your ties to Russia.
we had on the ranch, we had a bunch of cats in the barns or whatever. One of them got into the truck and was by the fan or whatever. And so when we turned it on that morning, because my dad was taking me to school, it ripped up the cat's face and stuff. And so we had to take it to the vet. Our neighbor was a vet. And man, my parents, they spent thousands fixing this cat, who, by the way, had allergies for the rest, had to live in the house from then on. I'm like, anyway, but yeah.
I mean, I understand. I mean, I love my pets, dude, but
Yeah,
if
but
it's
not that-
something that's going to like severely impact them and
There's a
lower their
price
quality
limit.
of life, you
yeah,
know,
there's a cap.
Well, I mean, there is that too, but he got into some tulips. We nicknamed him Tulip for a little bit because tulips are very poisonous to cats, and I spent like $1,000 on him, you know, making sure that he made it through. But you know, in an instance like that, and he's had like kind of bad allergies ever since. But like if a cat's like or a dog is like horribly maimed, and we're talking
Yeah.
like their quality of life is going to be awful. It's, you know, you got to make the decision between hanging on to something you care about deeply and, you know, making sure they don't suffer.
True.
So.
We'll do anything to not talk about Epstein, huh?
Let's talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Well,
This little shithead, he's just like basically batting at me, trying to be annoying. So anyway.
well, let's play the video of Jasmine Crockett making a fool out of herself, and then we can comment on that, because this is both the video of her making the statements and then her not backing down from them. So
Felt Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Do you have it? Is it
Also
muted?
took
Oh, there it is.
money from somebody named Jeffrey
No, that was
Epstein,
CNN.
as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win
What the hell
Ray,
is attached to her head?
McCain Palin, Rick
Her hair.
Lazio.
Her
I don't.
weave.
Well,
hey,
I don't
there's
know.
no way
Her
that's
hair.
You
hers.
mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet
I mean, only in
secretary.
the
He
capacity
responded
that
and
she
said it was
bought it.
actually Dr.
eyelashes McGee.
Jeffrey
Eyelashes
Epstein,
McGee.
who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who
She's
contributed
like,
to the
that's why
entire
I said
campaign of
a
his.
Epstein.
Do you want to correct the record on the people?
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided
Pause it. Dude, that is like such a sidestep. Okay.
Yeah.
You all know, she knows flat out by attaching Epstein's name, everyone is going to go and assume it's that Jeffrey Epstein of Epstein Island. So
Yes,
she's
that is
obfuscating.
what she's implying.
that exactly is it. She's implying that. And the fact that the the anchor or whatever interviewer is not calling her out for that bullshit is ridiculous.
Well, she's trying to obfuscate what she actually meant and
Yeah.
what she wanted to do.
I got caught. I'm going to deflect.
No, she didn't. It's not that she got caught. She 100% did it on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
so she doesn't care, because there's also what's called it's legislative privilege. There, when you say something on the House floor, you are immune from defamation claims, prosecution claims. That's why Nancy Mace gets away with saying the batshit crazy thing she does.
Exactly.
Keri, you were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say it sounded to me like she didn't know, even if she didn't know what she was doing and she got him confused. The point is, you got called out, you made a mistake, it's the wrong Jeffrey Epstein. And so what an adult does is you say, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm
You own your
embarrassed.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you do, and then you move on. Why do we have people acting like disobedient toddlers?
'Cause that's what they are,
running
Keri.
I
the
mean,
country?
Jasmine Crockett is a
Jasmine
special
Crockett.
example. I mean, have you seen the interviews when she was in college and just getting
No.
started? She completely changed her dialect to
She
code.
spoke perfect English when she
Yeah.
was in college.
Yes, he
And then she
switches.
went into ebonics mode the second she went into politics.
And it gets and there's levels to it depending on who she's speaking to.
The only other guy who's as good is there's a person in the Tennessee legislature.
Yep.
Who's he's from I think in one of the Memphis districts, and he was the one who went full like Dr. King Southern preacher,
Giant
like,
afro.
yeah. But they've got clips of when he was in college, and he sounds like Carl.
Oh, I've seen
Carlton,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
He completely faked it. Yes.
Yeah.
the
Context switching or code switching. That's what it's
Code
called.
switching.
yeah.
Yeah,
Code
it's
switching.
100% like if you're a black politician and you're running as a Democrat, you have to code switch into sounding
Yep.
less
And-
intelligent.
Well, even
And if you're a
Hillary Clinton did it. She had hot
Oh,
sauce.
yeah.
Jack.
I was about to say
Democrats in
ain't-
general do this a lot.
I ain't in no ways tired, Keri.
She carries hot sauce in her purse, guys.
Her
She's so
bag.
re-
Get it right. Her bag.
Her bag. She's so relatable.
The only one who didn't make them sound make themselves sound intentionally more stupid was Kamala Harris, because there was no way
She
to
already
get
is
dumber.
stupid.
Well,
That was
I mean,
that was all
No, but
natural
she
Harris.
did.
how
get
dare you
herself-
insult McDonald's employees?
But she did photograph herself taking collard greens out of the refrigerator. Do you remember that?
Oh boy.
And then
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. I was like,
And
"Oh,
Doritos.
Can
Wasn't
we
there
also
something about
point out? I
Doritos?
just want to just clarify. Her heritage is Indian, like Indian, and Jamaican. There's no like Southern.
black."
There's a
Southern.
foundational Black American heritage to
she-
her.
She spent most of her childhood in Canada, going to a private school,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yes, in a very rich area of
Of
Canada.
Montreal. She was like
Yeah.
right up there. It was like Trudeau's neighborhood where he was going, as the son of Fidel Castro, he got privileges too.
Let's finish listening to this explanation.
Bring this on us in real time. I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike
Well,
Republicans,
my team is
Oh my
they
God.
I at least
Googled.
don't go out
We
and just
used
tell
Gemini.
lies.
Yeah.
Gemini said this was
Because
the
it was
truth.
not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had
It's not
something to
fine.
say, all he had to say was it was a Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein. So
Yeah,
at least I wasn't trying to mislead people.
Yes,
Now,
you
have I
were.
done to find out who this doctor is?
At least I wasn't trying to
You,
mislead
you know,
people.
she said, well, it's not like they have the picture next to it. You know what they do have? The address.
Well, and also
And
she's
date of
sitting there
birth.
saying all they had to say was you have the wrong one. Well, that's what they're saying now, and you're still not accepting responsibility for
So-
misleading people.
So here's
Why
the,
would
when you
she,
make a
Keri?
when you make a donation, your name, your date of birth, your employer, all these things become public record. I don't know if anybody here has donated to a political campaign, but there are required fields that you have to end up filling out unless you're Act Blue, and then you can just bulk fill out whatever you feel like. But so be wary because it does become a searchable field. And when people are so inclined, this is how they went after Tea Party donors. The reason Lois Lerner was activated is because when it's a political action committee, when those are 501c3s and things like that, they are allowed to keep their donors private. Whereas a political campaign, they have to become public knowledge. So that's why they kept denying, tax exempt status for those Tea Party organizations, because they wanted access to who's donating the money so they could shame them and shut it down. They hate, doing that because they don't worry about that again with Act Blue because they're just, putting in whatever fake name they need to funnel the money from China.
Yep.
So have you seen that this guy, the neurosurgeon named Jeffrey Epstein, the one she was talking about, he said that he's going to donate money to her.
did.
So did he?
Yeah.
So that everybody can say that Jeffrey Epstein gave money to Jasmine.
That's
Crockett.
fucking hilarious.
From beyond the grave, too.
Yeah.
And I believe he also said that he was getting some legal advice because her statements made on the floor of Congress, she can't be sued for. But the doubling down on the news broadcast, maybe?
Which is, again, why Nancy Mace is a good example of someone who is calculating about that rather than stupid. She went out on the floor and made her accusations about her ex-boyfriend, casually brahmaing her and doing a lot of other things. And when they asked her about it,
Never go full casual Brahma.
when they asked her about it on interviews outside of the House floor, she just said, you can review my statement, like on the House floor.
She didn't double down.
She didn't
on-
repeat anything outside of the privileged zone. She only ever says that in the privilege area because she's smart enough to know that she's batshit crazy but doesn't want to get sued. But that guy is still suing her because...
Notice this is us calling out our side.
I don't count Nancy Mace as our side. She's been a problem.
Right. But where she's registered and what she's elected as.
And she's trying to run. This is the same thing Marjorie Taylor Greene was running.
Isn't she?
Marjorie Taylor Greene thought she somehow had a shot at a statewide election, which is stupid. She got no shot. It'd be like Boebert thinking she could run for governor in Colorado. The Nancy Mace, by the way, her history for people who don't remember, her immediate claim to fame when she was younger was being one of the people who sued to get into the Citadel as a female. Yes. When it was a male-only military academy. and she's like made her bones. She still proudly talks about destroying that male only environment so that she could go as a citadel to the citadel. That's virtue signaling wokeism in the highest order, and she's parlaying that, which is why South Carolina politicians are a problem. That is a hill I will die on. No politician from South Carolina has ever done anything good for America.
Hey. You know this is my home state.
Can you tell me? All right, Keri, challenge.
You know what?
Which politician from South Carolina
We
has ever
gave-
done something good for America?
We gave you people Vanna White, okay?
I said politician, not someone
Yeah,
who
me too.
turns letters on a game show.
Taps the lit up squares.
By the way, they light them up
Taps
for
the
her, so
squares, that's
they
funny.
can't trust her to know where the letters would be just by knowing the puzzle.
We gave you Vanna White and we gave you the fridge. Remember the fridge?
Do you know that for like since like
Yeah,
the early
Keri.
90s, she hasn't even had to turn the letters; she just taps
She
them,
just taps them.
and they like come and they light up on there, so she doesn't even have to work wherever. But by the way, back
No,
to the,
I agree with you. There's no South Carolina politician that I can think of.
I'm going all the way back to Calhoun, who helped start
Oh,
the Civil
yeah.
War. Like South Carolina was, by the way, they were the state in the Constitutional Convention in the Congress that would not constitute during the Declaration of Independence. It was South Carolina's delegation that said we will not vote for
They
the
were the hard
Declaration of
line.
Independence if you don't remove the thing that even slaves should be free to. Like you got to take
Yeah.
it out.
This
They
my
They
little
were the
South
hard line. on it.
Carolina commemorative. This is my state glass from the 50s. Just don't be disparaging the whole. I'm kidding. You can do it.
I'm disparaging the politicians. I love
That's
South
true.
Carolina.
We
My
were the-
old
We gave everybody Strom Thurmond, so
he was also not good for America.
I know.
My oldest brother went to college at Charleston. I've been there plenty of times. I like South Carolina. South of the border is like the worst place to ever stop on 95, but it's entertaining for that reason.
Yeah.
There's lots of good things about South Carolina, but what they are not good for is politics. Like Nikki Haley, terrible. Lindsey Graham, terrible.
Mhm.
I was going to ask,
None of them.
isn't Lindsey Graham from South Carolina?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Warhawk,
sure
Lindsey
He's
is.
an op. He's an op.
Nikki Haley, also South Carolina.
Yeah.
Nancy Mace,
Well,
South
Nancy
Well,
Carolina.
Mace
Nikki Haley is, which is the one that said that was a Republican that said she was a witch. Was that Nikki Haley?
No, that was the girl
No.
from Delaware.
Yeah. Nikki is Indian and known for removing the Confederate flag from all.
She's
I know.
also known
The
for
state's
banging
flags.
a lot
Right.
of dudes that aren't her husband, but they always try to pretend like that's just something made up. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine.
Nancy Mace is also famous for before going to the prayer breakfast. Do you remember what she said
Oh,
at the prayer
gosh.
breakfast when she was like, "Well, I woke up this morning with somebody who's wasn't her husband at the time, I believe, and had a quickie before I had to come over here to the national prayer breakfast."
She
Wow.
said that at the she said something
Yeah, that's her opening
disgusting.
remarks. That's how
How'd it-
she's
how'd it go?
introducing herself.
But she was saying that unironically, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't a joke.
Yeah. She was dead serious. I rolled over and had a quickie, or I don't remember the exact wording, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what
she
she
won 'em
told
over.
everybody. Yeah.
For her honesty.
I am not saying this is because I have no training in psychology. She is 100% borderline narcissist problematic personality. Like if you ever look at her social media, it's a constant stream of like, look how hot I am. Look
Yeah.
how hot I am. I'm a politician, but I'm super hot and I have lots of sex. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yes.
Okay, so
So-
Epstein. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty
she
much
is
the
a little
fallout
no,
from
Keri.
Epstein
She's
is
a
what we're
little old
talking
for
about.
Epstein.
That's true.
So the other fallout from the Epstein stuff is Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. She's announced that she's going to be leaving Congress in
Oh,
January.
no.
Ding dong. The witch.
She's been doing her damnedest to be accepted by the mainstream media. She's appeared on The View and on cable news networks.
I'm not going to be surprised if she takes the chair on The View to be the quote unquote conservative.
Yeah.
That is my guess too.
They
think
love getting
God.
they love
Yeah.
getting people who were Trumpers who can turn on him and start talking about how terrible he is, and she's like the perfect candidate, and she
And
will
Alyssa Farah
sell
is the
out.
current
So
conservative on The View, and she's basically been converted to a hardcore leftist. So,
how many of you watched her on The View? I watched it.
I didn't actually watch it.
I didn't know
They-
this was a thing. So
Okay, they loved her, and here's the thing. She came out there, she basically did a lot of Trump bashing, but then would follow it up with the performative, she would say, but he's still my favorite president and I still love him, and they would tease her. But it was really just like you're saying, they really like it when a former MAGA person, you know, bashes Trump. And they actually bring her out. They set it up, this big deal. They're like, you know, sort of like, you may be surprised about who's here next. Like basically admitting they would never have someone who's a conservative. Like,
that
you're gonna
sounds
be
like something
shocked at
Whoopi
our
would say.
guest.
You'll be surprised
She
who we're
did.
having on next.
Yes, it was Whoopi, and then they brought her out, and the audience was like thunderous applause. She was they kept asking, you know, who are you? How, like, you've changed. You don't seem like the same person. And I same thing. I'm watching it. I was like, oh, she's auditioning right now for
Yes.
a part. And then I saw Sean King, Mr. Talcum X himself, did a very long post talking about how Marjorie Taylor Greene is the only courageous politician in our lifetime. I don't know if you saw this. He was
What?
really blowing a lot of smoke. This leftist was talking about how great she is, and you know, leftist basically telling his leftist audience, you need to give her another look. She's a person of integrity, and
Best
you know,
thing since
Never
Liz
mind.
Cheney.
5 years ago, she was. They were misquoting her about Jewish space lasers. I mean, come on.
yes.
But she's gone on a tour and apologized for everything that she said or done over the last 5 years. So, I mean,
Wow.
and this, as Chad was alluding to earlier, she turned on Trump after the White House basically provided her internal polling that says she has no chance in a statewide race, and she immediately flipped, just like a switch. So, I would be willing to bet she ends up. We'll be clipping her from her stupid statements on The View, you know, coming up soon. So, not a major loss. And Trump initially was not very gracious about it, but then he was like, I'll always love MTG. So whatever.
Well, that's good of him.
Well, speak of someone else who I didn't know much about her until this View thing, and I started looking into her background. You guys are talking about Nancy Mace and you know, narcissism. MTG had 2 affairs with gym rats while married. Did you guys know this?
No.
I didn't
Yep,
know
yep.
this.
I think I had heard it.
100%.
I think it's just something that gets sorted into a different folder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
she did this. Yeah,
she did this.
Yep.
And they're both disgusting looking. And one of them, by the way, when they were contacted back when this happened and the media was all over it, of course, one of them was like, basically said, she's crazy. I never want to see that woman again in my life. Like,
Yeah.
which I was like, okay, this tells me a lot about you as a person. Anyway, I didn't know all that. I didn't know all those skeletons and stuff, but I don't like that. I don't like that about a
I think
person's
it was
character.
Vidal that said if anyone who wants to run for president should be eliminated from the possibility immediately, just off of that.
Right. Yeah. If you crave that power, there's probably something wrong with you. You're a narcissist at heart. So
That's most politicians, if not all of them.
Mhm.
yeah. But I mean, imagine how much hubris it takes to say, I think I'm the one who should lead the free world.
Well,
I'm
as for me,
uniquely
I
qualified.
think I could do a better job than most, especially on the left. But it's only because I would put an effort to find somebody that knows what they're doing to take my place. You know what I mean?
You would tap out.
Oh yeah. But I just don't trust the country and a lot of these voters to pick the right guy. So I would go in and be like, all right, let me find somebody worthy.
Matt just wants to be there so he can get drilled on the House floor like that one intern.
Oh God,
The
I didn't know
Senate
where you were
chambers.
going with it, but I knew it was somewhere.
No place good, Mad.
And he wants to get the government to reprint his army T-shirt that he never got.
I'm still owed.
I'm still owed. So MTG gone. Another little quick hit story. Eric Swalwell, known for farting on camera and sleeping with Chinese spy Feng Feng, and in general being a douche canoe, went on Jimmy Kimmel to announce he's going to run for the governorship in California this week.
Katie
Oh.
Porter has fucked that thing so hard that there's a danger that the Republicans could actually, in the jungle primary, get the #1 and #2 spots.
That would
Because
be hilarious.
right now they have
Steve Hilton.
Steve Hilton, and they also have a former sheriff of like Orange County running, and they're polling, I think, 1 and 3 or 1 and 2. It was right now, because there's so many Democrats in the race because of how vulnerable Katie Porter is. They're splitting into micro groups of like 5 to 8%. Like there's Xavier Bagara and all these other, and now Eric Swalwell, and Katie Porter is still not dropping out. She's just yelling bitch at people who are working for her.
Yeah. And remember, Kate, just to remind everybody who Katie Porter is, she's the woman who went a little bit viral about a month and a half ago, I think it was, doing that interview and saying, well, why would I need any Republican votes?
Yeah.
Why would I need to reach out to anybody on the other side?
That, and then she yelled at one of her employees who
Staffers.
walked into her shot while she was doing some live stream or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, well, good for you." And then
Would you? All right. So would
when
you
the
like?
employee was trying to correct her on a
Yes.
false stat that she was giving at the moment.
So would you like my conspiracy theory brain on why the Republicans will win the governorship in California this time?
Yes.
It's
Because
because
about every
Gavin
20
Newsom.
years-
No, it's because Gavin Newsom wants to win the primary, and if they let a Republican win, this happens about every 20 years. A Republican gets in and actually starts doing the heavy lifting of trying to clean up the shit that's gone so wrong.
Yeah,
That's
then
where I
there's
was
And
going
within
with
a-
it.
Hey, look
within
how
a-
great California
Yeah,
is.
and
Oh,
within
my-
those 18 to 24 months that the new governor will have been in office, they will have started cleaning up enough of what's wrong in California
And Newsom will claim
that
it was
Newsom
his-
will
Claim
start
responsibility.
claiming that look how great California is. It's the X number economy. We've got all these other things. He's going to let them win. It's, I mean, if people who watch the Bullpen remember my conspiracy theory that Gretchen Whitmer and Shapiro were not going to lift a finger to actually help win the states for Kamala, and they
because
didn't,
they want to run.
because they wanted to run in 28. And so they're like, oh no, our state just went for Trump. That's terrible. Oh no.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
actually, that makes sense, Chad, to be
And
honest.
Been pretty close to the 20-year cycle since Schwarzenegger, who was the last supposedly
Yeah.
Republican. But
Well,
yeah,
and-
about
and
every
on-
20
on-
years, they get fed up and then they let a Republican win just to fix things a little bit. And then they go right back to the Democrats.
Well,
Yeah,
I
remember,
think
it
the
takes a
other thing, too-
Dinkins to get a Giuliani.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is that if Gavin does run, all they have to do is just run shit from 2020. That's all they have to do.
Yeah.
Him looking like an idiot in front of those trains with the trash everywhere because of the train robberies. Him going and partying with his cronies, I guess is the best way of putting
French
it.
laundry.
During the
And the
COVID
French
lockdowns.
laundry.
So I don't
Yeah.
think
The
that's a good idea.
fires.
No, the
fires.
2020 stuff, people and we've seen this now from the ad campaigns that we've had enough elections. There's actually pretty solid data. People don't respond to being reminded of COVID. They don't like remembering it. They want to pretend it never happened. They're not going to. Whoever's
Because
bringing it
remember,
up.
they all want amnesty. For
No,
it.
but what I'm saying is the person who's running ads and making people think of COVID is the one who people don't like as a result of it. They want to psychologically move on and never think of it again.
That
They
makes
want to
sense.
be done with
So
it.
hit 'em on
Like
the
I said, there's
fires.
plenty of stuff that people can use against him. The Palisade fires is another example.
The
With him
affair.
saying-
Fires, cleaning up the cities when Xi
Yeah.
Jinping was coming to visit, when the rest of the time they leave them as absolute crap holes.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
plenty
plenty
of
you
stuff
can
that
hit them
people
on
can-
outside of COVID.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff that people can go and reference.
But there's going to be plenty of women that just vote for him because he
Because he's
looks
pretty.
like, yeah, just like Trudeau got into office.
I don't think that's
But
enough, though. I
Got
really
a real
don't.
quick. So here's Swalwell's, his ideas for how to run California real quick. This was on CNN. This
I'll do,
idea is
I'll do a quick
completely insane.
impersonation. We're out to Chinese. That's what we're going to do. We're out to Chinese.
guys,
No,
that
it's-
was not Eric Saul. That was Comix doing an impression. We did not book him. But if you have his info, let us know. We'll have him on.
I
There
want us
was
to be able
no
to vote by phone.
thermal, image of a gas release, so it's definitely not Eric Swalwell.
Right.
I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
by
vote by
fuck
phone.
off.
Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our make our healthcare appointments.
Pause it real quick.
Neither are as important as the election.
No, you cannot do your taxes by phone. You dumb
No.
fuck.
No, you cannot.
You can submit them electronically using an IRS approved electronic transmittal system that sends forms that are electronically signed. You cannot vote by phone. You know what you can vote by? Is he thinking this is American Idol? Then yes, you can vote for American Idol by phone. You can vote for Love Island by phone.
He didn't say. He didn't say a. He didn't say the vote. He said a vote.
A vote.
So,
I mean, the next step will be telepathy.
I think
We're just gonna think. That
We're gonna. You can vote by
count
shouting it out in the air, guys.
Yeah.
I think we need conservatives who challenge this, like the fundamental ideas underneath this idea that leftists have that everyone should be voting, that voting should be as easy as like, oh, you get a text on your phone and you pick one. We need to take this head on because that is a lie. It should be, you should have to take off work. You should have to stand in line. It should matter that much to you. You should be invested in it. And if you're not, then I don't want your vote. I don't want you voting.
So I think there should be a national holiday, which is Election Day. It should only be one day, no early voting, with a few exceptions, such as the military that's overseas and whatnot, mail-in ballots, etc. But it should always be in person. I mean, that's kind of how it's always been. Other countries can do in-person voting and figure out the results that night. Why can't we? Gee, I wonder why.
Yes.
Paper ballot.
I agree with all of this comics. National holiday, great. But the point is, you have to go in. You have to go in person. Yeah. You have to make an effort. It can't be like, it's sort of like how once we got used to shopping on our phones, now all these people have shopping addictions because they sit on their phone all night and order things from Amazon.com. Not me. I never do that.
I would be more concerned about sports gambling myself.
She totally does that.
I think the better example would be sports gambling and how it's just eating away at the country.
But the point is, you used to have to go when you were like buying Christmas presents. You used to have to make an effort. You had to put some time into it. You had to get in the car. You had to get the kids together. Whatever. You had to go to the mall. You had to spend time looking things over and thinking about it. And now it's just like on your phone, like before you fall asleep, like boop boop boop. And voting should not be like that. It should not be this sort of thing that you can do while you're in the bathroom. Like you have to go. You have to go in person. Sorry, my rant's over.
No,
it's the same thing like with HEB. I don't go inside anymore. I put the order online. I just go and show up, and they put it in the car for me.
My wife does that. I actually still grocery shop. I order a lot of stuff online, which part of it is that I started finding that whenever I go to a store, they don't have like this one thing I'm particularly looking for.
Right.
So I typically have to go find it online. So I will go there first. But when it comes to actually like food and whatnot, in like certain things, I'll just go to a store. And I don't like the fact that small businesses are dying because of the internet, which does kind of suck. But it is what it is, I suppose.
I was kidding before. I buy a lot of wigs on Amazon.
A lot of wigs.
She does.
Wigs
and fake beards.
and fake beards.
That was funny, dude. You look.
Hold on.
I almost made a comment how you look like Matt Walsh.
Perfect.
Because she did.
She did.
Look, when we're talking about getting beards on Amazon, I don't need to hear about that kind of stuff. Whatever cover up we're doing for certain Republican congressmen.
Project Merkin.
Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted Swalwell, but that's like a terrible idea. And I just feel like we need to combat it on a fundamental level that like not just like sometimes we don't get to the roots of why things are wrong. Yeah. And the root of that is like it should not be something that people don't put any thought or that they don't have any skin in the game. They don't really care, Well,
it's ripe for fraud is the big concern, right? That's the thing. Oh, I vote for Republican. You get a vote, confirmation back that you voted for Democrat. I'm like, wait, that's not how I voted. And there's so many problems that can be introduced, just not just from a fraud standpoint, but a technological angle of things not being done right. Because as much as I love code and programming, things are not always bug free, and you have to be very, very solid in something like that because you know this is our democratic process of our republic, and it needs to be as bulletproof as possible. And which is the reason why it, in my opinion, it should be paper ballots in person on that day, to eliminate as much fraud and even just mistakes, right? Just casual mistakes. And the other thing too that I find very concerning about this is the random 3 a.m. ballot dump. Whether it is legit or not, we don't know, but it looks fucking sus, and that's kind of the problem. And there needs to be faith and integrity in our electoral system, and this does not help with that in the slightest.
Yeah.
But according to Swalwell, it will be democracy to the max.
Yeah, well, someone honestly should have walked up and slapped him in the face and said, "You're a fucking retard."
Well, look at
To
that
the
face.
max.
It's ultimately slappable anyway.
Essentially, do your banking online. You should be able to vote by phone. Make it safe, make it secure, but it's actually already happening all over the United States. I want us to be a blue state
No,
that
it's
doesn't
not.
do just a little bit better than.
Where's
Yeah,
it
I
happening?
don't know.
He's talking about American Idol, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Americans do it all over the country all the time.
Listen, when I was growing up with TRL, if you wanted to get your request in, you had to call, and it worked. We used our phones.
And we all do it for the major sports leagues all-stars. And we all know how everybody loves the all-star games.
Like Georgia or Alabama, when it comes to like voting access, I want us to max out democracy. Also, as it relates to democracy, if you wait in line for 30 minutes or more, if you do want to vote in person, I think you should fine every county for every minute that a person has to wait line.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Better, not just a little bit better than the other states.
You know who that would screw? That would screw over the Democrats because they're the ones that keep having the polls shut down in different areas where Republican turnout is usually high. We saw it in Pennsylvania. We've seen it in Arizona. You know, they will have just random issues with their voting machines in areas with high Republican turnout.
Yeah.
So if you're going to fine them for not being able to vote within 30 minutes, then that's who's going to get screwed out of it. So
I'm just
he's a moron.
imagining 30 years from now, Eric Solo's grandson arguing that voting by phone is nice and all, but we should really let our AI vote for us now.
Yeah, probably.
Because our AI knows
we should let AI just vote in general. Obviously, it's going to make the best decision possible for humanity.
You think that AI is going to even need to make a pretend case that they should let it happen? AI will just do it and not even tell us.
Well, I mean, it'll be the AI family members that have already died that'll be casting those votes.
Yeah.
You'll still have to cast an actual vote via phone until you die and be turned into an AI. Going back to the story from last week.
The other thing, too, that I didn't mention about the whole vote for phone thing is that what happens if someone hacks your phone? Because it can happen. Certain things can compromise your phone, and suddenly you have somebody accessing your phone, casting a vote for you, and potentially voting for a candidate you don't want to support. So, I mean, there's so many problems with that.
Yep. We've got one other clip of Swalwell. We'll play it real quick because this just shows how stupid he is and incapable of actually speaking.
Why does this man get elected? There should be fucking intelligence tests for people who run for Congress.
Agreed. Like, you can't
Hank
declare for the
Johnson.
draft without doing a what's it called, Chad? The IQ test that they do.
The Wonderlic?
Yeah, the Wonderlic test.
Oh, well, they banned that because
oh, damn it.
It was culturally biased. They replaced it with a new version that they called, by the way, Shador Sanders bombed it. They replaced it to a more meaningful and representative IQ test.
Oh.
And Shador Sanders still bombed that one.
I mean, can you imagine Hank Johnson going through an IQ test, though? I believe that Guam might just flip over.
Hold on, he
if we
gets
put too many
grandfathered in,
people on
though.
it.
He gets grandfathered in. We can't lose him. He is hilarious.
Well, I mean, keep him around, sure. Just don't want him to be in Congress.
I know who can't
or
be
the
lost,
government.
Mad, and his name's Brandon Aubrey, right?
That's the GOAT already.
All right, see if you can catch what is wrong with this statement.
What do we do? What are we gonna do? How do you stop this?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I love California. It's the greatest country in the world.
Wait.
I think you guys caught it.
The world. Country. Greatest country in the world. But that's why it pisses me off to see Californians running through the fields where they work from ICE agents. Or
Jimmy Kimmel even tried to save him and said, country?
Country?
Yeah, it's the greatest
Yeah,
country in the world, California. You know.
Are you that fucking stupid, Congressman?
Yes, he is.
That'd be my response. California's a state, not a country.
That's his announcement to run for governor, and he screws it up.
That's beautiful.
Pathetic.
We have citizens running through the field from ICE agents. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we'll have plenty of clips of Swalwell for the next few months. I guess let's get into the big story. This one's kind of a long intro, so bear with me. But Thomas Crooks. So there was leaked info about Thomas Crooks, the attempted Trump assassin in Butler. Shows an alarming connection to the Charlie Kirk assassination. Unlike what the government claimed about Crooks and his lack of online presence, a trove of his online communications has come to light. These showed Crooks using they/them pronouns, posting violent art and threats of political violence, and obsessing over topics like muscle-bound women, mass shootings, bombs, napalm, Civil War, Nazi content, and furries. He's prone to making very violent comments online and was even flagged by other commenters and chat members. Some of his comments included, "The only way to fight the government is with terrorism-style attacks.
Wow.
Sneak a bomb onto an essential building and set it off before anyone sees you. Track down any important people, politicians, or military leaders and try to assassinate them." He also, at one point, just commented, "Kill Democrats," and said that the members of the squad should suffer a quick and painful death. And also said, "I always believed being patriotic was lining up a bunch of socialist Jews and blasting their useless brains out with an AR."
Boy.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
So some sources have alleged that the FBI ignored or dismissed the offered intel on these accounts, including direct communications with another account named Willie_Tepes, who happens to be a neo-Nazi based out of some Scandinavian country. I can't remember which one.
They're all the same.
Despite screenshots proving that those interactions took place. So this has fueled skepticism, with some calling the lone wolf conclusion a cover-up, especially given Crook's family background, parents in therapy fields, and a home resembling a medical lab, and a quick cremation of his body. So we had a lot come out on him, and it came through three different sources, one being Tucker Carlson, another was what is her name?
Post?
Yeah, there was the New York Post, and then there was one other source that was coming out. But all seems to be valid from what everybody's been able to tell. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? I find it interesting that we've got another they/them that is interested in furries.
Well, I think it
being
sounds
linked.
like another fucking lunatic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that the left has immediately glommed onto that, saying, "Hey, look, he's right wing," rather than saying this dude is like massively broken in the brain.
But that was the thing. He was a supporter of Trump back in
Until
like 2019. And
So
then something radicalized him and turned him hard. And it's believed that other account was grooming him
Yeah, Willie.
to take the violence a little bit more hyper.
So from what I've read from all of his social media comments and stuff, at least the ones I've seen, I would say he follows, yes, like Comix said, this is a disturbed guy. This is a nihilist, full of resentment, like Cain and Abel. He's the Cain energy, like all of these shooters, like all these assassins. But if they want to make it political, his crazy ass comments up until 2019 would have put him squarely in what I would call woke right. I know some people don't like that terminology, but he was all like, the Jews this, the Jews, he was squarely in that camp and wanted to kill socialist Jews and all this. Around 2019 during COVID, he went, where did he go? He went woke left. He's still crazy and woke, and his political views are still collectivist and it's somebody else's fault. But he went to woke left,
I don't think this guy is woke. I think that he's mentally disturbed. I mean, that's like the thing. Sometimes we don't need to assign like
ideology,
God damn it, ideology or a political motivation, right? It's the same thing with the guy that went and shot those two state reps, and was it Minnesota with Tim Waltz?
Yes,
and that individual just seemed like it was a disturbed individual. I don't think it was necessarily politically motivated. It was just the fact
no Kings
Well,
flyers.
so the thing is, though, they're more
and claims Tim Walz told them to.
Exactly. But there are also people that are on the right who supported No Kings protest. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that is immediately a disqualifier, but it sounds to me like this is more of a disturbed individual than anything else.
I absolutely agree. I think my point is that sometimes they use the politics as like a mask. Like, it's not the reason why they're crazy or why they did this.
Right.
But if
it's something they glommed onto to
right. And
justify
they have a range. Like you could call him quote unquote far right prior to 2019, and you could call him far left after 2019, and both of those things are to your point, I think.
Yeah.
That it's not political.
Another good example I'm talking about is that as much as we kind of like made jokes about it, the whole thing of Paul Pelosi, the guy that basically attacked him, was all over the place, and he was just as crazy. You know, it's like he would latch on to certain things, but the media went and said, oh, he's a Trump supporter, ignoring all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, kind of the issue with that is that I think sometimes a lot of these, you know, things that come off as being political is really probably mental illness of some kind, or
absolutely.
just
when they're disturbed like that, they're more susceptible to falling into these traps of these
these like weird conspiracy theories and ideologies. Yeah,
right. Yeah, because it feeds into whatever is wrong with them. You know, that extremeness, like that wanting to make everyone hurt like them. You know, there's a lot of different things that could be factors into it, but I think you're right that sometimes it isn't helpful to try to assign a specific political ideology or what have you, when it's really
I think that's because of the
for either side.
Where we're at in this country in the division, we're constantly looking for it's the other side, and sometimes it's just a crazy person.
Yep.
Yes, I hear
sometimes
you. Sometimes
it is, but the pattern that seems to be emerging is there is one ideology, not necessarily a political ideology, but one ideology that is very susceptible to being turned to violence.
Yes.
Well, and the other thing too is that you tend to find that there's a lot more mental illness, or people on the left tend to be more prone to mental illness, which is something I think is kind of interesting. So, I mean, and that's something worth investigating and looking and finding out why that is the case. But it seems like that more people who tend to be towards the center and to the right aren't as crazy. And granted, there's certainly crazy people on the right, don't get me wrong, but the vast majority of where we're kind of seeing this behavior is people who identify being towards the left. And I'm not even talking about far left either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scott hit it, I think.
Trans-Tifa. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it really is. It's all of the bigger, I think, spiritual things that are bigger than any, whatever politics he might glom, a crazy person might glom onto at any moment. But all of that resentment, nihilism, nothing matters, a destruction of what I see as God's natural law, like the natural order, the way God created things, male, female. I mean, when you get into that trans cult stuff, I mean, that's pretty much like, how much further can you go? Because at that point, you're really just like, I hate what is. I hate the way I am, or, I hate what God designed.
Have we gotten any information on if he was on SSRs?
Oh, good point.
Not that I know of.
Because that's also a nice combination factor that seems to, which lends itself to the trans issues, because they're on so many of these. They're on the medications for their hormones, and then they're generally, and this is just a fact, generally prone to being depressed, and they get put on all these antidepressive medications that start messing with all sorts of things, and because they can't just be on a regular generic like low level one because of all these other things. They get put on these hardcore, SSR, and Tom Cruise was right.
Just to be clear, in this case,
stop being glib.
In this case, so far, there's nothing that says trans. I mean, there's the obsession with furries, and there is they them pronouns.
Furry is like trans adjacent as much as possible. I mean, if you're willing, I mean, I think it's even a step beyond trans.
I agree. Like, I'm just saying it's different than.
I'll bang an anamorphic animal. It looks awesome. No, that means you're gonna shoot people.
Being back in the early 2020s, or not?
Are you about to talk
2000s.
about an obsession you had with Lola Bunny? Because I don't need.
No, not even close. No, a friend and I, we used to joke about how furries are basically bestiality by proxy.
It's not by proxy. It's by animation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's like, I mean, the only group that is more prone to that would be Scotsmen.
Don't tell Brian that.
Bourbon and boarding.
I mean, we all know what a true Scotsman does with a sheep, and it's not pretty.
I think the other real question here is, why did the FBI just in the last 2 weeks say that he was acting on his own? I mean, I think the investigation needs to be done again from scratch, because why are Tucker and Brianna Morello and Miranda Devine able to uncover all these things that the FBI is saying, oh, we had no idea?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Plausible deniability would be my guess.
Why are they doing the FBI's job? And what is the FBI going to do about this information now?
Nothing.
FBI is, I mean, look, and I've talked about Cash, Bongino. They're the entire FBI needs to be gutted, rooted out, destroyed. There's nothing good from the rank and file FBI. They should be a crime lab that local law enforcement can send stuff to be tested to. That's all the ATF should be also. The FBI, since its inception, has been designed to be a hindrance to American civil liberties. It's been designed to be a way to advocate for governmental bureaucratic power. It has never been something to help people. They don't actually do a very good job of it. How many times have we seen after massive, horrible events? What is the running joke that they were known to the FBI,
known to the FBI,
to the point where people have, like, the FBI agents came out and did in-person interviews, and we're supposed to trust. These are supposedly, according to Cash and Bongino, the most professional, dedicated, best law enforcement people in the country, and they can't fucking tell that a dude who's been reported by his father is a couple weeks from shooting up a nightclub in Florida. Sorry, they're terrible. They don't deserve to still exist on the federal budget. The reason the FBI even got a budget was because J. Edgar Hoover pounced on public relations issues where criminals in the 20s, criminals in the 20s were moving between state borders, and there was no interstate agency that made it easy to pursue people who had committed crimes.
Was that before or after he showed up in a tutu, Chad?
I mean, I'm sure he was doing that in private.
He was always in a tutu.
He was, it was like, it's like what the meme with the astronauts, that was always,
yeah,
it was always that way. And immediately they're formed to be able to go after bank robbers, the Bonnie and Clydes, the Dillingers of the world. And they immediately start getting files on people so he can blackmail them. Everybody.
Yep, everybody.
Mark Felt, who was Deep Throat, the person who was the actual source for Woodward and Bernstein, was the source for them, not because he actually wanted to bring down Nixon, but because Nixon did something nefarious and was a criminal. He was mad at Nixon for not making him the FBI director. So he wanted to. Yes, Mark Felt was like the deputy director of the FBI. And he got
the most popular presidents in history turns into a complete pariah overnight.
So he got passed over for the position of FBI director, and so he took down the president. Like, Watergate was nothing until this person started leaking stuff to Woodward and Bernstein, and he did it drip, drip, drip to keep the story in public, to be death by 1,000 cuts.
Well, I always heard that it wasn't what was actually going on. It was the cover-up that really nailed
But
Nixon.
it was, yeah, but the cover-up was being leaked out by Mark Felt of the FBI to bring Nixon down.
And let's look at what the Democrats have done for the last 10 years and tell me that that's not 100% worse than what happened during Watergate.
Trump,
Project
what they did to
Arctic
him.
Frost and all that kind of crap. You know, they've
that's a cool
been
name, though.
spying on, what's that?
That's a cool name, though. Arctic Frost.
Yeah. But I mean, spying on sitting senators and congressmen, spying on campaigns, all of that is far worse than Watergate ever was.
It sounds like
And
a Gatorade
nothing
flavor.
comes up. I think it is. I don't
Watergate?
even know if that's the actual name. I think I may have
Or
screwed
Arctic
it up,
Frost?
but yeah.
No, I think Arctic Frost is actually the name of it.
I thought that's what it was, but it is a Gatorade flavor.
I think
yes. It's the
Gatorade's
light
the
purple
Arctic
one.
Blast is what that one's called.
Okay. So I don't know. It seems like the FBI extremely dropped the ball, and like Chad, I agree that they should probably be gone. But the interesting thing is, so this was all last year in the summer. So it was Biden's FBI and Christopher Wray. In the Charlie Kirk situation, yeah, we got quite a bit more of the information pretty quick. Not necessarily directly from the FBI, but we got some of the information about some of the oddities about the person who did it, whereas this was completely covered up. Because I still have no doubts that they knew about these things, but they probably were never going to release any of this information. But
Well,
who
I
knows?
wonder how much of that had to do with the previous administration's decision versus incoming, like whether they were going to release. I don't know, but I know under the previous administration, they also stalled. There was really seemed to be this there was a hesitancy to release any details about a shooting that might have any links to trans ideology whatsoever. They did the same thing with the Nashville shooting, the Covenant shooting with Audrey Hale, and there were leftist judges trying to hold up releasing the manifesto, and then somebody ended up leaking some of it to Steven Crowder, I think it was.
Yep.
Something similar, because they don't want anything to come out that has like they them pronouns or trans. And so I wonder, you know, when Trump's
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Biden's FBI definitely wasn't going to tell you anything.
they were not
about
going to tell us
that.
anything.
But we haven't been that more forthcoming with this administration's FBI either.
No,
Which is
unfortunately.
it's why I think that Little Chad's right. I mean, the FBI is just too corrupt to continue its existence in its form right now.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's that stuff about crooks. Keri, we're at the hour. Do you need to?
Yeah, I
head
got to
out?
take off. Thank you guys for having me. It was good to see all of you. And
Yeah.
Oh, likewise.
yeah,
Nice seeing you
I
again,
like
Keri.
these. Good to see you. Have a good rest of the
I
bullpen.
apologize for insulting South Carolina politicians, but they
How
deserve it.
dare
They
you?
deserve it. Yeah.
Who they deserve.
Hey, have a happy Thanksgiving. Speaking of,
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
yeah, I'm gonna make some South Carolina stuff, so I'm excited. I hope you guys have a good one.
Bye, Keri.
You too.
Bye
See ya,
bye.
Bye.
Night. All right. How about we revisit Minnesota,
Oh,
where
do
the
we have
police
to?
are now
Do we have
where
to?
the police are now
Working for
addressing
Somalia?
things in Somalian and working for Somalia.
Insane.
Wait. So
You
they're
think?
actually, what are they? They're actually
Oh, there's a video.
okay.
You'll get the context. All right. You'll have to read the subtitles because they're not doing it in English, of course.
Durka Durka
You
Jihad.
can't hear anything. So anyway.
As you know, we came to this country as refugees. There are no Somalian police. So now that we have been hired, it means we are working for our own people. We understand the culture, the language. We understand the way of life. That's why we are different from foreigners. We help bridge that gap.
I
So
like Mad
thank you
reading
again.
it because it gives you the real vibe of someone real time translating something.
Every
they're
small
saying.
police. Yeah. I'm like skipping words and shit because I'm also looking at the other monitor.
Mad is our signer.
Wow.
I mean, as legit as some of the
Well,
other ones I've seen.
now you can read it without him talking in the background.
He was talking. I can't hear him. Oh, I have it muted.
You still have the stage muted.
Yeah.
When you're
Oh, I
asleep
have
at
it mu-
night,
I
when
have it-
you're
I have it
resting,
muted
we're
too.
the ones protecting you. So basically, the Somalian police or the Somalian police officers in Minnesota
I think you were right the first time.
work for the Somalians, not for the Americans,
Yeah, go figure.
in their own words.
That's my fault. I thought you had it muted because he's not speaking English.
I thought it was muted too, but I forgot I muted the live preview because of the music.
Because of the start of the show. Yeah.
That's insane, man. I mean, I never thought we would get to this point in this country where we literally have people, basically taking over parts of our country, kind of carving it up and doing shit like this.
I mean, it started with the Chaz.
Well, yeah, but it's like in Texas, there's like this guy that's been going around in Houston. I guess he's an imam going around to like Muslim businesses and saying, you stop selling the haram or else, which is basically them kind of like making their life difficult and whatnot. Even though the guy admits, like, we understand that it's your right to do it. It's perfectly legal, but we don't want you to do it. And we're going to protest your establishment, which is fucking retarded.
If you don't adhere to Sharia, then we will make your life miserable.
And that's insane. I don't see this any different than what's happening in Houston at this point. A slow, gradual takeover of our country by people that
I would actually argue that
native.
Dearborn is much further along than even what's going on down
Well, yeah,
here.
Dearborn absolutely is, because they actually released that new badge that had Arabic on it, and they got immediate backlash. And they also rescinded the noise ordinances, so you can have the call to prayer, 5 times a day, or is it 7 times a day? I don't remember. But
I would play something as loud as possible during that entire thing.
The tipping point for generally, from what we've seen in Europe and studies based on it, is about 12 to 15% of the population. Once your local zone has about 12 to 15% Muslim population, they will vote in block, show up, they will take over. They take advantage of most Americans' complacency when it comes to local elections. They vote en masse, in block. They take over the city councils, and then they start changing things from there. And then they
usually
take over the
do,
sheriff's department.
unless they've got a blood feud back in Somalia.
True. There's also, I think it's a county. It's a very small county. There's not that many people that live there. I think it's in Texas. And this dude, I don't think he's actually Muslim, but the point is, like, he's telling people to come from like the inner cities and stuff, and he has like trailers on his property that he owns there. And the point is, if they get enough people, they can take over the county. They can take over all the
there's a
political positions there.
He basically bought a huge piece of land in this rural county where there's a very, very small population, and basically has made the call out to other melanated people to come, and he will give them residence, give them land, parcel it out to them, so they basically can go and take over this town or this county in Texas, which, it's in the middle of nowhere. So it's like I'm kind of wondering what the end goal is, besides them obviously gaining political power over this county. But I'm not sure if this is like a test, and then they're going to try and replicate this elsewhere in other countries, other states, or other counties in Texas. But yeah, I find that to be kind of concerning.
Yes.
I mean, it's perfectly legal, I guess. But I do find it to be rather concerning, and I think we'll probably end up seeing more of this. And
well, in Texas, there's at least 2 Sharia courts operating right now, one in Collin and one in Dallas County.
Yeah, that
and they don't have legal. They claim to defer to the Texas courts, but they're handling a whole bunch of internal law.
Do they have legal
doing it as Sharia
authority to?
I don't know, dude.
It's all voluntary for the Muslims.
Oh, well.
But they are operating.
Well, one thing too, I know this happens in New York, is that I know that they also have like Jewish courts in
Right.
New York, which is, I think, kind of a similar thing, because you could be deemed not Jewish and they can boot you out of the faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, like I said, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know
Sharia
how
is a bit of a different animal.
Well,
It
here's the
is.
thing. I will
It is.
say we have, I mean, if you look at Mennonite and Amish communities, there's been a tradition where local communities will defer to enclosed, I mean, even the Mormon fundamentalist groups where they found their little compounds.
Yep.
Because there's also
James Strings.
there's a tendency for the American tradition to be like, we don't want to get involved, like internal religious shit. Is you do, as long as you're not doing, the problem is what we know of Sharia law courts is they do start moving beyond just like, hey, you got to help with a barn raising or this or that. Like,
Right.
this is like, you
And
are now
Sharia
gonna,
is
we
not
are going to
just a
stone.
religious thing; it is a political prescription.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very similar
That's
to
the main difference.
it's very similar
ahead,
to
Matt,
what James Strange did at Beaver Island outside of Michigan. This is a real thing. Like we talked about on MadEPAP, he said that he was now the leader of the Mormons after Joseph Smith died. And so he tried to start his own. He crowned himself king and actually got elected to the state Senate. And he ended up getting shot because it didn't go well for him. But and he was a complete cuckoo banana person. But we've seen it happen, over and over again. I think it's when it goes from this is what we do in our community to trying to force everyone else to go along with what they're doing in their community.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely something to keep pushing back on and also to keep an eye on. So we're trying to keep an eye on it.
And one thing too that I think Soul Assassin mentioned is that I know that Abbott has been looking into those courts. And so
Yes.
I know like one thing that got shot down, I think it was outside of Dallas, where you had a group of Muslims basically trying to establish their own city.
Try and make their own city and community.
Basically be ruled by, Sharia law. And Abbott was like, nope.
But to be fair, also the WWF had their court as well, and I think Undertaker was the judge for that. Whenever the wrestlers had problems with each other,
Nah, that's not real.
no, they'd have them backstage. Still, it wasn't a
the
work,
Undertaker.
bro.
It was the Click that was running all that.
Well, no, he was a judge when the people brought things to the court, to the wrestler court.
The People's Court. Dun dun dun.
Yeah,
dun,
definitely
dun,
whopped.
dun, dun.
Oh, you didn't know? Sorry.
You better tell somebody.
You better tell somebody. What else we got? We got the other big story of the week. The Sedition story.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the Cowboys doing their business.
Oh boy, did they not?
So let's play the video that they released real quick, and let me mute in the background so it doesn't autoplay. There we go. Yes, you need to keep it unmuted so you can actually hear audio, Mad.
Yeah,
I did on the Crockett clip.
Now I don't hear it.
No, I don't hear it either.
Oh,
See?
because I muted the other clip. So the media player is still muted. Excellent. Boomering it up.
How it should be.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative
Oh,
Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day.
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
Okay,
We know
pause
this
it.
is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public.
What the fuck are they referring to?
Nobody really
They-
knows because they're just
yeah.
implying that there's illegal.
Yeah, it's the same as what we saw
Like-
with Crockett. It's putting it out there, but without actually committing to what they're saying. You know, it's the idea, it's floating the idea. It's grooming, just like what we saw with
you decide what you think is illegal.
just what Willie was allegedly doing with homeboy from the Trump attempted assassination, right? Same thing. They're just putting it out there so that it sows doubt. And when they talk about people that trust the Americans have in the military is starting to strain, it's because of things like this. This is what is doing it.
You can refuse illegal orders. Okay, define
Yeah,
an
And
everybody
really,
knows that.
the question is, I mean, so there's so unclear that is this about the Venezuela boats? Is this about the National Guard going into different cities and helping clean up? Is it about protecting federal property? They're not making anything clear so that they can stay vague and shadowy.
Right, exactly. It
and
is
imply it,
Weinstein, not Weinstein, what Epstein. It's
Epstein?
a Epstein. Oh, yeah, it's the same thing. Illegal order.
Public
Yeah.
servants.
But whether
Finish
you're
it off
serving
real
in the
quick.
CIA,
The Army.
Our Navy,
the Air Force,
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Let me guess, they're all
Now,
Democrats,
more than
right?
ever.
The
No,
American
Slotkin
people
is a
need you.
CIA
They need you to
asset,
stand
so
up for our
fuck her.
laws.
our Constitution.
Just like our new
Who
governor
we are
in
as
Virginia.
Americans. Go.
I'm fairly certain that all the women in this video were former intelligence and all the men were former military. But
Yeah.
Give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
And don't give up.
and this
Fuck off.
goes all the way back to like Slotkin during Hegseth's approval, asking the same questions. So are you going to enforce illegal orders that are coming from Donald Trump? And Hegseth's
illegal
like,
orders?
yeah, there haven't been, there won't be,
Oh,
and I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I don't accept the premise of this question.
Yeah, this reeks of that back in 2020 where you had all those celebrities going saying I take responsibility. That's what this reeks of.
Yeah.
So here, this is a follow-up where they actually ask one of them.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
asked
Explain the
about 4
illegal-
or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legal orders are you urging troops to refuse, and what do you hope they take away from your message?
This specific question is, what are the illegal orders you want them to refuse?
Yeah.
Alex, we love this country. We love our Constitution.
Non-answer.
It is our job as lawmakers, and especially in this moment,
that's
to
not
be
an answer.
clear morally, to be clear legally, and simply and clearly stating what the law
Simple fucking
says,
question. What's the illegal
what
order?
the Uniform Code of Military Justice says. It's not a crime. It is not treason. It is not sedition. It is our job. And I think it's really important
Weird.
that,
Were you doing it under
that we do
Biden?
our jobs in this moment.
What illegal orders are you
Yeah, that's a funny. If I was the interviewer, I'd be, "What's the illegal order?" I mean, you didn't.
They've
answer the
asked
question.
all of them and they can't give an answer.
You're dancing around the question. What's the illegal orders that Trump did? Well, we're patriots and we believe this country. That's not the fucking answer. Answer the fucking question.
You better be, especially when you're saying we need to be clear about everything. That's our
Yeah.
job. It's like, okay, nothing you did was clear. So I didn't really do my intro on this one, but kind of what my thoughts on it were, we're at the point where the left is now calling for the downfall of our republic, because once the military chain of command falls and once the military starts taking political sides, a country cannot continue to be governed by the people and for the people.
Well, it's like that one general that basically called Xi Jinping saying, "Well, if Trump decides to do something, I'll let you know." It's
Millie.
like Millie. That's fucking treason, man.
Millie.
It's at very least sedition.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not during war, so it would be sedition. But if it was during war, it would be treason.
Yeah. So, there's been a bit of a firestorm around this one. There is some question as to if they are not pointing out a specific order, is it legal for them to do this at all? Or is it actual defined sedition?
I don't think.
Chad, I
it's
figured
sedition.
you'd have a little on that.
I don't think so. I think that you have to be. You know what I mean? It has to be directly. You have to directly be telling someone. It's the same as, in and like the violence, right? The free speech. If telling people go out and kill these people, right? That's not free speech. I think it's kind of I look at kind of the same way.
What they're doing is a lot like what Tim Pool was talking about with the. Well, first you have somebody point to a Nazi, and then you have another person say, "We should kill Nazis because
we should punch Nazis." Hey, and then the second guy goes, "Hey, look, a Nazi."
Everybody knows the point.
Yeah.
But there was no direct call to violence directed at a specific person because it was a different person that named the Nazi. We all know what they're talking about. And this slipping around the First Amendment thing is getting really old from the left, because if you're not going to have any kind of actual integrity, then the First Amendment just starts falling apart.
Well, I mean, everything starts falling apart if there's no integrity.
Well, you get rid of the First Amendment, and everything falls apart.
Get rid of the first
integrity.
Yeah,
integrity
weed.
Chad, you've been gone. What are your thoughts on it?
On
it being sedition specifically, if you have any thoughts on that, or just
they're not going to get sitting. They're not going to get sitting congressman for that. But
no, I don't think so either. But they'd have been a lot wiser to have done it on the floor of Congress.
I mean, they were vague enough. So here's how you get out of it. Like they said in that they are.
We're just reiterating.
Yes, but they've gave themselves a easy legal out, which is the Uniform Code of Military Justice does make it very clear that unlawful orders are to be ignored. Now,
correct.
What is the definition of an unlawful order?
That's where the vagaries come in.
That's always been a problem, because
would it be like drone striking a U.S. citizen abroad?
That was always actually. There's a reason the CIA always did that. The CIA has the Reaper drones to do those things.
Obama was using the CIA for that, not the military.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
It was CIA Reaper drones. It was intelligence operated ones. So that means the people, by the way, who are operating those don't go. The soldiers, as like Mad knows, when you go through boot camp, you get training on UCMJ. Like the guys who are using the Logitech joysticks, flying the Reaper drones and shooting missiles off at people for the CIA are not. they are getting their whatever CIA training. What is the line from the movie Gross Point Blank? They do a test to see if they have this certain moral flexibility to be comfortable with doing those things, and then they let them in there and they do it. So
right.
This is we've talked about this on the show a lot before. There's the real world versus principles, right? And principles, what they're doing is ridiculous. Real world, there's not going to be any consequence to it. It's not even worth trying to. Honestly, there's not going to be enough hay to make out of it. There's no point to even like trying to go after it.
I do love that the left is now bringing this up after Trump said it's sedition and they should be hanged or arrested, tried, and hanged. And they're all like, clutching their pearls about Trump saying anything like that. And it's like, what? I mean, you guys are saying the exact same kind of crap left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonstop.
I mean, this is why, going back to like even what Keri was talking about.
This is just new distraction.
What we need to be doing is this is wielding political power without compunction. Like your principles are great.
Yeah.
Principles are something you can work on once you've righted the ship. The boat is, like to use the analogy that was in this ad, the boat has got holes. It's taking on water. You're not worried about more principles when that's happening. You need to seal it up. You need to get your bilge pump going. You need to right the ship and get it secure before you can worry about figuring anything else out. That's why the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Thomas Masseys, they can all fuck right off. The principles doesn't matter. You need to be working as a team, wielding political power. The Senate should be ending the filibuster to put into law and put into action the legal protections that will help make the country center right from a basic operating principle individual states can have within their normal possibility, their operations. Like California is still going to be California. California should not be dictating to the and this is one of the good things that Trump did, and he did it through rulemaking. California was effectively dictating economic policy for the entire country by passing laws on a state level, like greenhouse emissions and cafe standards for vehicles. And because they were such a large market, and it's easier from an economic standpoint to just build one car, they were going to start, the car companies were just going to start working to whatever California's standard was. California shouldn't be doing that. So they started doing it. So, but we need to understand that until we are working as a unit to do that, we're going to have problems. And we still have a large segment of our own, like Rhino principles people who are, and this is one of my favorite descriptions of it. It's from a website I like a lot. Republican establishment politicians want power to earn money, whereas Democrats want to use money to earn power.
Yeah.
So everything from Republicans, they like being in the minority because it is easier to fundraise as
And
a
obstruct.
minority party and not have to do anything, because you can always be grievance politicking your way into fundraising. Like I know Brahm and we've talked about on the show, like the Trump actually accomplishing what he did on abortion pissed off a lot of the abortion 501c3 fundraising apparatuses, because now they actually have to do things. Now you can't just bitch about Roe v. Wade must be overturned, fundraise. They actually need to go out there and start, helping people. And that's not how you just make money.
Yep.
Later, Eric. Happy Thanksgiving.
See you, Eric.
Take care, man.
So yeah, we'd like to, we're bitching a little bit about these guys doing seditious and traitor stuff, but what are we?
Well, the BS
as a
has to
group?
be called out.
No,
Yeah.
that you call it out, but what you really do is you win by, like, the best revenge is winning. Like, you just go, like, if you want to stick it to these guys, go out there and codify stuff. If you break the filibuster, you could start codifying adjustments to the, like, how Trump and Hegseth have banned transgenders in the military. Well, that's pass a bill to make that the official governmental stance, so that it can't just be changed by the next administration. Make it specifically that Congress, no allocated funding can ever be used in the military for transitions. So that way there's a lock.
I still think
on
it would be hilarious if we nuked the filibuster, passed everything, and then the last act of Congress before we turn over anything would be to use the nuke filibuster to then enshrine the filibuster. So take one final vote that says you must have 60 votes to pass anything.
No,
and be like, see ya.
So that wouldn't work.
I think it would be hilarious, though.
No, it doesn't work because the rules of the Senate are always simple majority, and it's so no Senate can be permanently bound by a previous version of it. This is funny. But it wouldn't work. It'd be funny if it could work. Now you could do it in theory through constitutional amendment to make it an actual structural part of the legislative body within the Constitution, but
there's not the numbers for that, because you don't have. I mean, that's why you have to nuke the filibuster to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to nuke it just because we fundamentally need to pass protections for elections. We need to basically
at least
put
the
in
federal, because we can't do anything about the state.
No, we can't do anything on the state level, but we can, if we have the legislative. What you can do is make you need to roll back motor voter. That goes back to Clinton. That's the original sin, which was making it so that the DMV can register people to vote. Fuck that. No, and it's just a checkbox when you get a driver's license. That's not how it should work.
I don't think the DMV should be in charge of anything.
Well, yeah, that's the motor voter bill. That's why it's funny if you go back when Clinton first got in office, in the middle of a economic downturn that got him elected, their number one priority was like motor voter. And why would that be? It's so that because they were playing the long game on getting ballot acts, just get ballots. So it's the DMV shouldn't be involved in it. It should be done through, especially if it's federal elections, make a federal, local body that, can do it for federal elections, however you want to do it. I think Florida's, adjustments to voting that they put in after 2000 have done
what happened.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we've talked. You can see the results within each successive election. They keep getting redder because they're purging. Like as they get further away from the old system, they've purged out more and more of the graft and problems.
Yeah,
and eventually they're going to reach an equilibrium where there's they're only going to get redder by immigration into the state from people fleeing blue states.
Were you personally offended when they were like hanging Chads? You're like, I take this personally.
Oh my God.
Well, when that happened, I was so far away from having an online persona with that name.
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, aside from you, because your name is Mad.
Yeah,
that's what they call you.
Call me. Yeah. But no, I agree. Yeah. Florida seems to be doing a lot of things, except for this whole bacon thing. I haven't looked into it yet. About these guys that are being prosecuted because they were
eating bacon sandwiches near a mosque.
Well, they were brandishing bacon.
Brandishing bacon.
Yeah,
brandishing a bacon sandwich.
So, Chad,
a deadly bacon sandwich.
Let me ask you a question,
real quick. Does everybody know that Tom Brady dropped the hard R on the broadcast?
I was watching the game when it happened. No, it wasn't. It sounded very close. He messed up a player's name, whose name is I don't even want to say his name, but
does it begin with an N?
Here you go. Here you go.
Coverage on AJ Brown on the left side. That's where Hurts wants to go. Starts to pump, and Odighizuwa just blasted through Landon Dickerson right there.
It was not close enough that it should have been a problem.
No, Nick is what he said at the beginning of that, and then added the ER. Oh, it's too close for comfort. You know what I mean?
But
luckily, he has enough Super Bowls that where I think he'll be able to survive this. Thank God it wasn't 2020.
I just a little bit of levity just to break it up from some of the other stuff, but yeah.
Oh, we've got some more levity coming up with Jasmine Crockett.
I do have
she's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh yeah, there's 2 more videos.
Harold, I got let me get to I do have, in terms of getting what we're voting for.
Well, real quick before we leave the last topic.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, Chad. Could you nuke the filibuster? So basically getting rid of cloture. You then at the end reinstate cloture with the simple majority vote, knowing that it's looking really hard for the Democrats to win back the House. I mean, it doesn't really do a whole lot, but if you've only got one of the houses of Congress, then you can't pass any laws anyway.
I mean, I don't there'd be no purpose of return of if you put
just
cloture
to make things
back
too hard.
No, it wouldn't be
you
hard.
You still have to have the numbers to have
as soon as they have a simple majority, they'd be able to take it. They'd be able to make it go away. So I don't see any point of returning the filibuster 60 vote cloture rule because once you've nuked it and you started passing everything, your assumption is that they're changing it back because they're losing the Senate and you want to do it before the next Senate takes office. Rules are always changeable on a simple majority vote. So if they've got the majority, they would immediately be able to remove cloture again. Now, to your purpose, that is if the House was not Democrat and, would it matter? No, it wouldn't matter, but they'd be in the same situation they'd always be in, which is the House passes what they want to pass and the Senate passes what they're going to pass.
Yeah, I was just thinking out loud.
No, it's the
trying
only
to
way
run it through my head in a way to actually, handcuff them.
There is no way using Senate rules to do it because Senate rules can always be changed by simple majority. The only reason they didn't do it last time is that their majority wasn't large enough, and Sinema and West Virginia
and
Manchin wouldn't vote for it, so it got preserved. They tried, they wanted to.
Well, the next Senate map looks like we're probably going to end up with what, 53, possibly 54.
It's way early on polling, but I'm actually pretty bullish on Michigan only because that's this time it's a former CIA Republican running, and former CIA guys tend to win. So, and he was also, I think, the governor of Michigan. So
maybe in one of the upcoming weeks we should do an early look at the Senate map for next year.
I know that there's concern about like Georgia, but if we put up a good candidate, like not Marjorie Taylor Greene, then yes, I think we've got a good shot at Georgia. The real fundamental thing is if the economic conditions pick up, we're in a good spot. If they don't, we're in a bad spot.
It always comes down to that.
Sure.
Now, it'll also, here's the fun thing that we don't know about. Trump is ramping up operations all across the South, especially. There's been some really interesting stories about what's going on in Charleston after they were doing their their operations there, where 30% of the school system was suddenly not showing up. Like the kids, 30% of the
it's the percentage that don't speak English as a primary language. They've been stopping school buses to get kids off if they've heard that there's a possible ICE raid coming.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're also working at night now. I saw that earlier.
Yeah. Illegals are working at night to still be able to earn while not being visible to everybody. You know, the Home Depot and Lowe's illegals.
Exactly. So it's
Did you see the protests they're doing at Home Depots that
where they're going
to
in,
ICE?
Where they're going in, buying like something like one item and
buying
then going
ice
back
scrapers
in.
for 17 cents and then getting back in line to return it so that the Home Depot can't actually operate.
It's a
People have
shame.
way too much time on their hands.
No, it's a shame that there's not a
stupid.
way to just buy something online and pick it up without having to use a register in the store.
What is
It's
the purpose
amazing.
of that? What is it stopping?
To try to stop commerce within the Home Depots that are open to ICE. Because if you just have a line of 100 people buying a freaking ice scraper and then getting right back in line and returning it, then regular shoppers can't really, they're not going to sit there through 100 people going through.
That's a lot of effort for a little return, I think.
Yes, but that's these people. We've seen their thought processes. They're not great. What were you gonna go to, Chad?
Oh, I got this. This is fun. Here's what you voted for. Let's listen to the story.
That's some bull. Nelson Scott is on the verge of losing access to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. He is 38, not disabled, doesn't have any kids, doesn't go to school, and doesn't have a job.
So just to reiterate, he's 38, has no disability, has no children. He just doesn't work.
How did he get qualified? I mean, how did he get approved for it in the first place?
Because they had expanded SNAP so much.
Same reason that these people are on Medicare and Medicaid, or whichever one is for the poor.
What box did he check to qualify? What box?
Just no income. So we just give it to people.
I don't make anything.
That's one of, getting back to my principles and why they're fucked for doing that. Thomas Massey effectively tried to stop him, and Rand Paul tried to stop this from being fixed, because as they're going to lay out in the story, the one big beautiful bill is what allowed them to finally stop putting these people into SNAP eligibility.
You know what pisses me off? Because I'm a disabled veteran, right? I don't work, but I do not have no government services whatsoever. Not Social Security, not SNAP, none of them. Because I'm choosing
Just
this.
your
You know what I
disability.
mean?
Well, you're also on disability because you're a disabled veteran. I mean,
well, it's not disability. It's compensation. It's VA compensation.
Well, yeah, right. VA compensation, which is vastly different. And you being a veteran and literally sacrificing a piece of your body.
Debt owed.
Exactly. That is a debt owed to you as a veteran who literally has been blown up and set on fire. So we, as our nation, owes you this, right?
That's the least a society.
That's the least we can do for you as a veteran of this country that has spilled blood for this country. This guy hasn't done shit. Okay. And the one thing that we all found out when EBT went away briefly because of the government shutdown, what happened all of a sudden? Well, you had communities coming together, basically getting food, and handing it out to people in need. And that's how it should be in this country when it comes to charity. Charity should not come from the government. It should come from your community.
When it comes from the government, it's forced charity.
Yes. It's not charity. It's the dull, but
it really is just forced charity. It's saying, okay, you're going to take care of these people, whether you like it or not. We're going to tax you.
I wouldn't consider charity at all.
Give it away as a charity.
I would say it's more like serfdom more so than anything else, but whatever. But like I said, the whole purpose of the community come together, to help their neighbors out. This is something that throughout human history we used to do up to the point when we got government involved. And that is a huge fucking problem. The government is not designed to solve your entire problems of your life. When, before, the Great Society and all the shit where the Democrats put in place, people would help each other out. Now there is not incentive for you to go and help your neighbors when the government does it for you. Especially, I think a lot of us kind of feel this way when we see our tax money going to this and basically helping people out. Do you feel more inclined to go and donate to a charity and help out or do community service?
That's kind of the issue. When the government's already taking the charity from you is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You're less likely to be charitable.
Yeah.
Even though the right tends to be far more charitable than the left.
Yeah.
And that could be a religious, component there, or just because we value the individual more.
Right.
But the other thing we find out with SNAP and EBT is how much freaking fraud there is, and how there's more obese people on food stamps than the average American who has to actually pay for food.
And this is something that friends of mine have seen. They whip out their EBT card or whatever. But I when I was in my 20s, this is back in the 90s, I worked for a place, and some of the individuals I work with, they're talking about, it's like, yeah, I used to be on food stamps and I ate better. It's like when I was on food stamps that I do now. And that's fucked up, guys. That is really fucked up.
Yep. Let's play a little bit of the video. Or did you get what you wanted out of it?
I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the video, I think, goes...
Some of the reasons he is no longer eligible for SNAP benefits.
How much did SNAP help you?
It helped me a lot. I get $292 a month.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture crackdown is led by President Trump, who signed the One Big Beautiful Bill into law in July. The government shutdown stalled the November 1st deadline for implementation. However, these changes are still coming up.
We help.
Signe Anderson is a senior director of nutrition advocacy with the Tennessee Justice Center.
What the fuck is nutrition advocacy? I mean, this is anyway.
Somebody has to fight all the food deserts.
Yeah, and a lot of those food deserts are actually caused by the fucking government. But that's
what causes a food desert? And not
letting
to correct,
people loot and rob stores to where
like
the
I
stores
said,
decide
the government,
to get the hell out.
Yeah, Comix still right. The government, yeah.
Because of rules like this, we can see individuals that are going to be forced to skip meals.
She points out senior citizens and children between the age of 15 and 18 will be most impacted.
Hey, a person between the age of 15 and 18, you know what you can do? Go work at a McDonald's, because now you make $15 an hour.
Yep. That's like the one thing I was going to say is it's like, dude, it's like fucking get a job, even if it's at McDonald's, man. I mean, I'm kind of curious. Like, does this
you know that if you work at a McDonald's, they give you a free meal every shift?
No, I didn't know that. But that's
that's one of the ways they fight theft, is by just giving them an official, like, you get one free meal a full shift.
Yeah, but part of the problem with that logic is it seems like there's a whole bunch of those people that we're trying to get out of the country working the jobs at McDonald's right now. and they're adults, not little kids in high school, because adults have been fighting for this stupid push for higher minimum wage.
That's true.
So that
When
they
I-
can continue to
when
work in
I-
a
when
freaking
I do go to the-
McDonald's at the age of 50.
When I go to the McDonald's and it sounds like the Consuela maid from Family Guy.
Exactly.
No.
And
Real quick.
if
Another
there's
component-
no ability for them to understand you, then they put the kiosk in where you just order your food from the kiosk.
I like the
and you-
kiosk. I prefer it.
Sure, I prefer ordering on my phone, but the point is, those jobs for teenagers are disappearing because of the minimum
Adults.
wage crap and because of illegals.
So, I need to clarify something so I don't get in trouble. Nutrition advocacy is a real thing. Shredda did this whole thing about diabetes, going to different communities and teaching, like helping set up programs to help teach older people about what they should eat and not.
Mad,
not
with that
Isn't that what
anecdotal
doctors should do?
information. Hold on, I just want to ask this. Can you clarify with Shredda if having access to the information resulted in any drop in the diabetes rate within those communities?
Probably not.
And
Okay.
is that information available online?
Probably.
Well,
the other
no, it
issue
was a
too that we
program
need to
that
take in
she made.
consideration is the fact that people make bad fucking decisions and they are ultimately responsible for those poor decisions. I remember years ago, my wife and I were, I think it was like late night news or something like that, where they're interviewing this guy, and you know he's a black guy in his 30s or 40s working like 3 or 4 jobs, and my wife's like, you know, I kind of feel bad for him, but it's like he made a bunch of bad decisions. Literally, dude, like knocked up 5 other bitches. Okay, so he's got all these kids, you know, no career prospects, and
Hold on.
literally did it to
Tyreek Hill
himself.
has career prospects.
But
Subjects.
But the issue here is like, dude, I mean, why aren't you looking for a job? Why do you not have a job if you are able-bodied? I mean,
Because if he got a job, he has to pay all the baby mamas. If he doesn't have a job, there's no child support, and they're on SNAP.
that would probably be my guess too. But yeah, I mean, it's like fucking
And
A,
it's
dude.
the same thing as these women who are like, well, I had one kid and I got $500 a month. So now I've had 12 kids from 12
Yeah.
different dads, because now I'm making like $12,000 a month in SNAP benefits. And then I sell, you know, some of
The
those
kids?
SNAP benefits for actual
Oh.
cash. So then I can just buy whatever I want.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a huge fucking problem.
But it's a
We-
problem
we
that they
need
don't
to-
want to acknowledge.
Yeah, we need to stop incentivizing bad decisions by people. And part of the way we stop incentivizing bad decisions is by taking that safety net away from people.
Well, I saw a video on Twitter today. I didn't include it in
Oh.
the thing because I didn't know we were going to get onto this this
Well,
conversation.
real quick, I
necessarily.
do want, given our discussion, Matt is probably the only one on here who knows what video clip I'm about to play.
Well, but before you do that, though, I do want to also clarify that yes, it actually does help, and they do have the data to back that up from the program that Shredda built.
Yep. Here we go. This
Okay,
is
cool. Just
Antonio
run right
Rogers
past that.
Cromartie.
Your ass is covered, Mad.
You know, all the aggression on, but as soon as you leave and get home, you got to be that father figure, you know.
He's talking about got to be that father figure at home. Now listen to how he gets to be a father figure.
That husband.
Oh, what's wrong with your hair? What is going on with your hair?
Man, HBO gonna clean this shit out of
Alonzo, who is 5. I have Keri, who is 3. I have my junior, which is 3. I have my daughter who just turned 3 as of yesterday.
Jeez, got a lot of 3-year-olds. How'd that happen?
Yeah, so
That's
he
the
turns.
year he got his contract.
That's the year he got his contract. Yeah, it's like Tyreek Hill did the same.
3 in December. We got another daughter that was born October 16th, named London. Another daughter that was born named Leilani, who's 2 years old. And I have my newborn with my wife. Her name is Jersey.
With my wife. There
I'm
was
go-
one time.
I'm gonna go fuck all these bitches.
Yep.
That just reminds me of that the opening of Idiocracy.
Yes.
Maybe he's
Now that he was
allergic.
sick, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go fuck all these bitches.
Maybe he's allergic to rubber. We don't know.
I mean, they make alternative
Maybe
versions
she
of it.
should develop a pull-out strategy. I don't know.
Lambskin.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
So the video that I saw today, though, it was of an Asian shop owner who this black lady is, just throwing the whole Karen fit at. And he finally looks at her and he's like, I saw your EBT card. I pay taxes. My shop pays taxes. We're the ones who pay for your food. Shut the hell up. And I think that's what we need more of, is to get back to shaming those who are doing this so that they want to get off of these things.
Yeah.
There are some people who legitimately need it. And
No,
maybe
yeah,
long term,
I
even
agree.
disabilities, that kind of stuff.
Well,
But if you're just gaming the system, you should be shamed into the ground. I don't care.
I don't have a problem with there being assistance programs. I think that the problem is the things that come with it. Because like a number of years ago, my Kempo instructor was telling me about this one lady he knew. She was basically getting ready to become a lawyer, going through law school, all this stuff, and she needed some assistance. And basically the individual, when she went to go apply, basically said, you need to drop out of school, quit your job, do all these things, and then we can help you. And it's just like, she's like, I just need a little bit extra money to get through this month, and then I'm going to have a great job and a career, and I won't be on the dole. She's like, well, in order for us to help you, you need to quit your job, drop out of school, all this stuff. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? That is messed up. That is literally creating dependency on the system, which is a huge issue. And I've
that's
been
like
on
all the employees that are like, well, I can't work, I'll work 2 18-hour-a-week jobs because if I get put on full time, then I'll make too much to be getting my government benefits.
Yeah.
So people are happy with just enough and never ambitious enough to actually do the thing to actually be successful on their own.
Mhm.
They like being on the government teat, and they will do just enough to still stay on that as long as they can. And then there's the others who do absolutely nothing and are rewarded for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's half of the argument during that shutdown about the amount that was being cut out of healthcare. It's because in the big, beautiful bill, outside of the illegals, in the big, beautiful bill, it basically said, if you're able-bodied, you have to work 20 hours a month to qualify for health benefits. 20 hours a month for an able-bodied person is still absolutely ridiculous. It should have been cut out completely. If you're able-bodied and you can get a job, you should be getting a freaking job. Or you've got this many months, just like unemployment types benefits, you've got this many months where you can be on it, and then, sorry, you're able-bodied, go get a job.
Yeah. And it's like you have to do things that you're not necessarily going to like. It's like, I have a job making literally a third of what I was making before. And it's like, it sucks. I don't have as much disposable income as I had before, but I'm able to get by. I granted, I have to do essentially work 3 jobs. I mean, you do the YouTube thing, I do my day job, and then some other, side contract stuff, to make sure that all my bills get paid. And hey, if my car breaks down, now I have some extra cash to go and get that fixed. So it pisses me off as someone who, has been working really hard to see this shit. Yeah. I basically sit on my ass. I don't have a job. I'm perfectly fine. And I'm upset the government's not giving me money anymore. It's like, well, go fuck yourself, buddy.
While on the same thing, the Democrats are sitting here going, well, if you get rid of all the illegals, who's going to work the farms, who's going to work all these things. And it's like, okay, maybe you put all these people that are able-bodied and not doing anything and tell them to go work those jobs.
Yeah.
Pay them correctly, because that's part of the issue is these people are trying to underpay
Oh no,
people.
if we free the slaves, who will pick the cotton?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, but apparently there is a ton of people to pick the freaking cotton. That's the point. There's all these people on the government teat that are doing nothing and are capable of doing something. Those are the people that you point at and say, well, there's the Americans that'll do the job. If they don't want to, then they don't get any services.
Yep.
A simple solution. Now I'm pissed.
Yeah. No, it really fucking pisses me off, dude. It does. It's like, the economy is kind of fucked up right now. We have all these people coming in, getting, free shit from our government. The thing that pisses me off is that a lot of these states are more willing to take care of illegals than they are to take care of their own citizens, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is
because
a
that's who
huge.
they're bringing in as a voting block.
Well, it's a replacement. Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
That's not a real thing. Also, it is a real thing, and you should like it.
Replacement theory? Yeah.
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 Not real, but it is real, and you should like that it's real.
Well, it absolutely is that. The funny thing is they want to say you're racist for it. It's like, dude, it's like you have black people in Chicago complaining about being replaced by illegals. It's like, it's obviously not just happening to white people.
That's
It's
their
literally happening
internalized
to
racism.
everything. Oh, clearly. Yeah.
So I would love for everybody who's watching to go watch. Turning Point just released Charlie's last speech that he gave. It was on September 6th, I believe, in Japan, where he was warning them about what replacement theory looks like. And, you know, the birth rate, all of that kind of stuff. Globalism cannot operate in a country where the birth rate is actually at replacement.
Yes.
Because what happens is once your birth rate dips below replacement, then the globalist will point it out and be like, well, we've got to start importing people. I mean, that's the only way the country's going to survive.
But that,
and he did a whole speech to the Japanese people about it. And I would suggest everybody go watch it.
I know, but the globalists began importation in all these countries before it fell below replacement level.
Yep.
This doesn't.
Right. And they, but that's when they ramp it up.
I think they're just doing. It's just happening regardless. Like the invasion of California began in the 60s and had nothing to do with replacement level birth level. It just was being done.
No, it's just a warning. Specifically in this case, it was a warning to Japan because they have been pretty xenophobic through their history, and it's only been in the last 50 years that they've started bringing in. It's been in the last 10 years they brought in 3 to 4 million people, immigrants. And his warning was, they're already bringing people in. You guys have a great society. You know, you keep your streets clean. There's very little crime because you have a Japanese heritage. And he was giving them a warning of, this is what you're going to see, is if you guys don't start having babies, they're going to say, our population is too old. We need to start importing people so that our nation could survive. But that's actually the death knell of your nation.
You're seeing some of that already with the changing of their culture and society, where there's areas where there's graffiti and trash because of the fact that they've been importing people. However, there's been a massive change in the government where they now elected that one prime minister who basically is very pro-Japanese and basically wants to get rid of these people and put incentives in place to encourage Japanese to actually have children.
It's like interesting because that's only they have had for the last 50 years. There's only been, I think, 4 years out of the 50 where they had gone to the other party.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
Why is Japan's birth rate so fucking low? I know that there's like this weird kind of like
the otakus.
Yep, I was going to say the same thing.
Get the anime guy going.
Yeah, explain it, Chad.
Okay. Otaku is or a NEET, as they are also called, is the shut-ins who just don't associate with people because they want to watch anime, play video games, do stuff. It's a cultural thing in Japan that has come about. It lends itself to the Japanese culture because of certain things about their heritage and some of their mindset, that if people, aren't feeling valued, like, all right, so you got to understand the way the Japanese education system works first. You do not even get to go past middle school if you don't test out. They will kick you out and you're expected to just become a vocational worker. Like, the reason why I always thought it was funny how we got all in a tizzy about being compared to Japanese kids on education. Like, you test out of elementary school to get into middle school. If you don't test high enough out of elementary school, you're moved to a vocational program at middle school. Then from middle school, if you don't test out high enough, you get moved to vocational high schools. And like, they keep sorting out. So by the time you're looking at the high school people doing their standardized testing, you're talking probably equivalent to the top 20% of their student body is their high school
They
students.
kick out the
taking this
dummies
test.
and the troublemakers.
Yeah, they get to work. They go work at the gas station or whatever. Like so. And as they're filtering these people out, if they are not doing that, the tradition will be that the family will just support like the person living alone and being a shut-in, and so their birth rate starts falling. It is what it is. It's a highly industrialized country.
Mhm.
It's got the competition for the workforce is very hard. They do a lot of things now. They also, because of their traditions, if you're not of value, you kind of get shunned by the family. It's okay, and they don't want to bother with you, right? You're not gonna Harry Carry anymore, but you're gonna just live as the shut-in life.
And AI girlfriends and AI porn are probably going to exacerbate it.
Okay, number one, they don't even need that. They just do it anyway. So that's why the new government that is taken over, which is a much more hardcore right-wing government, it's the Shinzo Abe.
Thank you, Shinzo Abe. I was trying to remember the guy's name.
Yeah, who it's like his disciples, and I know we went over it because I was a big fan of the new
metal chick.
The new, well, she's the prime minister. She was in a metal band in the 80s and 90s. But the new minister in charge of basically immigration and economic development, she's a half Gaijin. She's half white.
Oh.
And she is hardcore.
She grew up in the U.S., didn't she?
No, she grew up in Japan. They moved back to Japan when she was like 3.
Okay, yeah.
And so, but she's super hardcore into the Japanese culture, supports everything, like loves anime, thinks it's a cultural tool of Japanese dominance.
Right.
She has done speeches left and
Not
right
wrong.
of basically get the fuck out of Japan. You're not here to, just because you're a workforce or this or that. If you're not acclimatizing to Japanese culture, if you do not accept our stuff, you get the fuck out. And they are clearing house already.
It totally makes sense.
They're canceling visas. They're kicking people out. It is the right thing to do. And they're basically like, make Japan great again. Japan is for the Japanese. They're doing all those things to work on it. They also are putting programs into basically try to incentivize childbirth. There's going to be rewards for getting married and having children. It's what we should be doing here.
What we should be doing, absolutely. I mean, we've incentivized marriage to the point that we had groups of people demand marriage, but now I think you have to incentivize those that can actually reproduce.
I mean, so far, the only real childbearing incentives the United States had within its
welfare,
codified legal stuff was for illegal immigrants. The more children you had who were now quote unquote American citizens, the more people you could sponsor, the more government program dollars you could suck in. Trump's and under Basent, just this last week, the IRS confirmed that they are no longer going to allow someone, and this should piss you off once you hear it. They are no longer allowing illegal people to get refundable tax credits on child programs. Like you might have heard the earned income tax credit for children.
Yes, I remember that.
They were paying that to illegals who were filing taxes illegally. Like you're not, they knew they were illegal. They knew they were stealing socials, and they were refunding them because these are refundable tax credits. So that means even if you don't make the money, they will send, like if your taxable income was only $1,000 and this tax credit because of all the kids you have is $7,000, you will get a check for $6,000.
Yeah.
Jeez, and they were sending that, and now they're saying no. They finally changed it.
Yeah, I remember like years ago, a friend of mine had the earned income tax credit, because I remember when that came out. I told him how I had a problem with it. He's like, but I'm using that. I was like, I don't care, man. It's like, you're my friend and all, but it's like, I still got a problem with it. I think that's bullshit.
No, I had a friend same way. She single mother with 4 kids, getting all the tax credits, and she's like, tax season rolls around, she's like buying all this crap because she just got the tax return for the year. And it's like, you realize your tax return was essentially what I just paid the government.
Yeah.
So You basically just took my money. Indirectly, but directly.
Mm.
Yeah, it really does piss you off. All right. I'm pissed off enough now. Let's go to a lighter subject with Jasmine Crockett again, because these two scenes from the same interview are ridiculous. So this one is, let me see. Well, I don't have them labeled, but one is about Plaskett.
Because I'm sorry, but like we don't have ethical like rules that say that you can't receive text messages or you can't respond to text messages, especially if somebody has a certain record and you can't do it in committee. We all be sitting on our
Stop
phones.
talking like that.
And yes, people be texting. I mean, our staff texts us. Like everybody texts us. Like people,
everybody texts us, so it's perfectly normal for Epstein to be texting Plaskett.
I would love for her to have a question and not try to obfuscate the like what she, you know what I mean? Everything she does is just it just throws shit out there without ever addressing what the actual point is.
Well, we ain't got no rules about it, so I mean everybody be texting.
Now I gotta waste my time knocking down all your straw men that you just laid out in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Situation, you know who was texting me? My pastor. Okay, so like let me be clear.
Don't
There
give a
is
fuck,
no
dude.
ethical.
Also, every time she says texting, it really sounds like sexting.
Also, if your pastor was texting you while you were there was a hearing that was directly related to him, or he had some type of connection with the people involved, that wouldn't be okay either. You get what the point? Well,
now you smell what I'm dropping, Sensei?
Yeah, you're pissing
Good.
me off.
Now I'm pissed mad off.
And so the idea or the audacity to decide that you want to strip a Black woman of her committee assignment because she was texting with Epstein.
Yes, actually, yes.
Now let's go into the next portion of that same interview. I'm not sure when these actually lined up.
I thought this was supposed to be the lighter part. This is like, oh well,
it is
time
because
to
it's
lighten
just
the mood.
looking at how dumb this woman is.
It's not.
She's an idiot. Well, that's your state, but
Oh, Deeple, don't let her fool you. She can speak English. It's a fucking act, dude.
yes,
She
It's a
codes
fucking
switching.
act.
this one is even worse though.
Gonna do? They not even gonna. Honestly, they're about to outlaw the idea of white supremacy and white hate. Like they are about to be like, oh, that's not a thing. Forget the fact
What the fuck are you
that
talking
you're
about?
talking about getting rid of.
They're going to say that there's no such thing as white supremacy and outlaw anybody talking about it. Yeah, that's something that's been proposed. I think we've all just said, you guys are ridiculous. We're tired of everybody calling everybody white supremacist about any time you push back on any minority.
Yep.
Like the classification for nooses in a time in which
The classification for nooses.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, showing
nooses regulated?
showing a piece of rope to a Black person is apparently a hate crime at this point.
Oh, fuck off.
we have seen these random Black bodies be strung up down south.
Really?
Yeah.
What, you got some fucking examples besides that one guy that allegedly committed suicide, or
yeah.
They're trying to say he was lynched, but there's like no fucking evidence that guy was lynched when college started or when school started. It was like this one college.
Yeah.
There's no fucking evidence that the dude was lynched.
There's just random lynchings happening all over the South right now because of Trump.
That no one's talking about, apparently.
No, she is.
Seemingly
Crazy
at a
ass
time
bitch.
in which you're back in office, because what you do is you embolden the hate. You embolden everybody to
Can you
take off
pause it
their
real quick?
hoods.
Yeah.
Does everybody remember Scary Movie?
Yeah, of course.
You remember Anna Faris's black friend in that movie?
Yeah.
She's
a great actress.
Like, this is the coding of the language I think Jasmine Crockett went with. Like, it's the like tone, the speech pattern. That's it's terrible, because I just, knowing how she actually speaks and then hearing her code switching to this is so irritating on every level.
I don't have a problem with code switching because I did as well when I was a cop. Because not everybody you can't talk to everybody in the same way because it just doesn't register all the time.
I get that to a degree.
That's for actual communication.
Yes, for
not
communicating specifically with people, not just putting it out there as, you know what I mean?
Not to ingratiate yourself to a different group of people. There's a difference.
Well, yeah, and I can see what you're talking about, Mad, where in the context of which you're using it, it serves a purpose rather than virtue signaling.
Exactly.
And it can talk down somebody when specifically in a cop versus, somebody that you have to try to get across a point to get them to calm down or to see reality. We do that we talk about that all the time on Zach's videos with the body cam stuff.
That is what he has done. He is the one that is producing this violence. Listen.
So Trump is producing a whole bunch of lynchings.
That's funny because I haven't heard about anything in the news other than the one that happened recently. And even then, like I said,
that has been ruled as a suicide.
Yeah, it's been ruled as a suicide.
Yeah, I'm going to need her to provide some sources.
She doesn't do that.
Yeah. Well, sources are racist, Mad. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Like
I found a whole bunch
of
clips of it on Twitter, but it's all the same outfit, so it's an interview somewhere.
Was there any pushback from whoever's doing the interview? Like, oh, that's crazy. I haven't heard about that. Do you know?
You got examples?
Yeah, so that we can support
she wouldn't
them
be
and
doing the interview if it was somebody who would push back.
Also true.
All right, we've got one more light topic and then one more that.
Please, is it going to be? I mean, my God, what are we going to talk about next? The Holocaust?
You keep bringing up light. You'll actually think this one's light. So when you guys think of the AARP and the benefits of the AARP, what do you guys think of?
Old people.
As
far as benefits, I had no fucking clue. Maybe they get a discount at Denny's. I mean,
discounts on insurance, stuff like that. AAA.
I knew the AAA thing.
Are they providing discounts on suicide booths?
I came across this. I think it's freaking hilarious that this is now a benefit of being in the AARP. You now can register if you're in the AARP, a member. You can register and be allowed to play your favorite Atari retro games, complete with saving your scores and getting on leaderboards.
Oh, they got leaderboards?
Yeah, they got leaderboards for all the Gen Xers.
They got Pong
turning. Yep. I mean, all the boomers and Gen Xers that are
there are now, Gen Xers in their
now
60s.
AARPing. Yep, exactly.
So
and these are the games they played. So play fun Atari games online for free, including Centipede, Asteroids, Breakout, Pong, and Missile Command.
All right, shut the fuck up. Missile Command is awesome.
Save
and
your
playing
scores
it with
each
a
time
mouse
you
would
play.
probably be way better than the Atari joystick.
You get to play the ET game?
I'm sure it would, but the AARP is now letting you play Atari games for free, and that's a benefit of joining the AARP.
All right, let's be honest.
I just find that ridiculous and hilarious.
Hold on,
at the same
time
time.
out. This is actually a legit benefit, so I would be happy. Of all the things you're going to get, you get 10% off at a Holiday Inn. I mean, playing Missile Command with a mouse seems like a ideal way to do it.
I'm pretty sure you can download that on your phone right now.
I have a MAME arcade machine. I have all of these on here, but
exactly. So you probably don't need to be getting it from AARP.
All right,
you've got
Brahma,
any kind of ability to play games.
No, we're on the here. As bad as I am as a gamer, where I was using a Microsoft Surface for several years.
Yes, you were.
I'm still probably in the top 20% of gaming population because I had consoles and was gaming and did other things. You have to understand the average, even Gen Xer, is not as game qualified. I mean, how many times have we had to have Imp help Mad set things up?
What the fuck? Listen,
Mad's a millennial.
Mad's a millennial, isn't he?
Yeah, but I was never a PC guy. That's all it is.
But I thought he was
one out of this.
I thought Mad was Gen X adjacent.
No.
No.
So here's the thing.
He's not even Zennial aged. He's true millennial.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. A jitterbug will be able to play Missile Command. It's not that, you know what I mean?
No, it will not.
Do you like your jitterbug?
You can play
Mad?
Snake. You can play Snake with it. But
how long have you had your
seen the new
jitterbugs?
jitterbugs? A couple years now, man. I recommend it. You know, people laugh about it, but the big buttons really do help. Like when you're waking up and like, you know, your contacts are kind of like sticking and, you know.
This
you
is
sleep
the
in
best
your
benefit
contacts?
the AARP has ever offered.
I get yelled at every time I go to the eyeologist.
Gojira. Yeah, I'd prefer this over my membership fees being laundered to the DNC. Well, that's still going to happen either way if you're in the AARP. But yeah, I just came across that one and thought it was freaking hilarious. That is now a benefit that we've reached the age in Gen X where it's like, remember Atari? You want to play Atari?
Remember Atari?
You can do it on the AARP website.
Which you can access from the browser in your jitterbug.
Then the very last thing that I had for tonight.
I've lost my will to live.
Yeah.
I get that.
So Pew Research did a poll, and a poll of high school seniors reveals that the girls are leaning away from marriage and the boys have stayed about the same since the poll was done back in 1993.
Gee, I wonder why.
On average, now boys are answering that they will likely get married at some point at the rate of about 78%, while girls have dropped from like 85% down to like 64%. Also, amongst the both girls and the boys, fewer believe that they would stay married to their first spouse, and even fewer have said that they're likely to want to have kids at this point. So that goes back to a little bit of the Japan talk, I guess, because we're raising generations that don't want to have kids and don't want to get married.
Well, that's the plan, bro.
I know. That's why it's being pulled up and pointed out on this show, because that's an issue.
Yep.
I don't know if it's something you guys want to talk about, but it's an issue. I do have the story. I'm trying to bring it up, or at least the actual poll.
I think it's a huge issue. It's like I said, obviously it's a part of the plan. They want to, they want to depopulate. It's part of the reason why I think they're pushing for AI, as much as I love using AI for certain things. But they are pushing for the robots. They're pushing for all this automation, mainly not to help humanity, but to replace humanity. And that's the more insidious thing about this, more so than anything else.
Yep. So in 1993, the average was 80% were going to get married, 16% had no idea, and 5 were not planning on getting married. That is flipped to 67%. Only 67% plan on getting married. 24% have no idea if they'll ever get married, and 9% say no. And then in addition to that, whether it's likely that they'll have kids, 48% in 2023 said it's very likely. 25% said fairly likely. It was 64 and 18. So and the weird thing is, the guys answered at about the exact same rate the whole time. So it is the girls checking out of marriage and having children, which we've talked about tons of times. But this poll just kind of reinforces it, that it's something that is embedded in them at this point.
Yeah.
At least that generation of girls. Because I don't know if it was the same for you guys when you were growing up. In high school, I knew multiple girls that had like scrapbooks of all the things that they wanted for their weddings.
What?
In high school.
Why were you going through their scrapbooks? I don't give a shit what they want.
They're carrying them around, tearing out pictures from magazines of wedding dresses and all this crap and scrapbooking it nonstop.
I think, several people in the chat have already mentioned feminism, but that this is a direct response to feminism. And the sad thing about it too is that a lot of older feminist women have massive regrets about not getting married and having children.
Yes.
Sargon of Akkad covered this, I would say about a month ago, where you had this one feminist who was in her 60s, basically upset about how she never married and didn't have kids, and realized that her being kind of more abrasive and kind of dicks to men is what made that a reality. So it's kind of funny that she's complaining about it, but partially realizing what the issue is, but not fully accepting the answer. So I think that's what's also kind of led to this like weird crisis with women and like this weird kind of like bestiality porn that they're reading, like with the Morning Glory milking farm stuff, is that they still want traditional masculinity, but they don't want it from men because men are viewed as the enemies.
It's the leftist women that are, where are the masculine liberals?
Yeah, there aren't any.
News for you, there aren't any. You have feminized all of them.
Yeah.
If you want a masculine, you're typically going to have to go to the conservative route because we have different beliefs and foundational beliefs going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a major problem, and just thought we should point it out because the poll came out last week, and I'm not sure where they polled. I think it was Michigan, or it was the University of Michigan who did the poll. So it was probably Michigan high schools around the University of Michigan. But it's a thing. But it's getting late. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes in. So unless you got anything, Chad, Supreme Court rulings?
They haven't done.
I mean,
aside from
not
Alito,
ruling, but you had Alito.
Well, yeah, Alito
Texas.
shut down the Texas. Like, so the interesting thing about the Texas enjoyment on their new congressional district,
the districting,
was that the two out of the 3-judge panel, 2 of them were just district court judges because they didn't have a full panel available of appellate court. And the one judge who was actually an appellate court one was the one that lit them up on the dissent, where they didn't, and called him retarded and all these other things. So Alito shut it down, and he has enjoined their enjoyment, so to speak. He's blocked it, saying that pending further review, this is not blocked. They're allowed to continue because the Supreme Court has previously ruled that these types of redistrictings are allowed. So it's crazy. And then the Supreme Court, hopefully within the next few months, is going to rule that the only thing that you can right now get barred or messed with on your cases, according to case law, is race-based
the racial districting. Yeah.
But that is what was being brought up, and that's what it was out of a Louisiana case that was already had oral arguments earlier in this term for the Supreme Court. So that decision will probably be out around January or February. And the expectation would probably be a 6-3, either 5-4, 6-3 decision, overturning the Voting Rights Act requirement for minority majority districts.
Because it's absolute racism?
Because it is absolute racism.
Inequality?
Yep. So that would, you want to talk about opening the floodgates, that's when about 12 more seats can immediately be flipped to the Republican side. Indiana needs to get off their ass.
Indiana has signaled that they're not going to. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, I know. It's because Indiana, the Rhino establishment of Indiana, is in the Pence camp, and they are still personally butthurt over the way Pence got completely bodied out of MAGA for being a cuck asshole fuck for what he did on January 6th. And the fact that nobody actually liked Pence. He was only
he's about as milquetoast
Pence
as anybody can be. He was just to bring in the religious vote for the original Trump run.
Yeah, and Trump at this point has delivered more. This is the fun part. Trump delivered more for evangelicals on their wish list than any of the evangelical politicians ever did. It's funny when Pence goes out there and tries to body Trump on not being a Christian and this and that and the other. And it was like, if it was up to you guys, none of these things would have ever got done. Trump might be like a dream. He's like King David. He's not in any way a representation of the ideal of those values, but he is serving a purpose from beyond.
And he's crass, but I think after he was shot in the ear, I think he did have a come to Jesus moment. He may still not embody everything of Christianity, but I mean, he's even talked about it that, you know, he had a religious awakening a little bit when he was shot at. So, Chad, can you pull up the memes?
Yep.
Do you have them available?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get the notification.
Eric Myers celebrating 12 months of membership, a full year, wishing everybody a great John Madden Thanksgiving of food, family, football, and successful shopping weekend.
Good, thanks. You know, John Madden never dropped the hard R on television like Tom Brady. So
he could have got away with it, though.
Boom.
So could Cosell.
Cosell only talked about look at that little run.
That little,
yeah, which is what he would call his
such and such run
nephew. Yeah,
look at that little. Did you know that in January there's a movie called Primate that refers to what Cosell was talking about?
That's right.
All right.
All right. You're gonna do memes. I will be right back.
So here we go. The Bermuda Triangle, and then in that Bermuda Triangle, Pam Bondi's desk, where all these things are apparently at but never get released. Then we have a few lawn signs we're waiting for. Arrested, Fauci arrested. That looks like what's her name out of California. Arrested Adam Schiff. It says lying to Congress, but we know we're going to get him on mortgage fraud. Arrested for
illegal servers.
Illegal server. I mean, of all the things you're going to be able to get her, I mean, that would be it. And then arrested for Biden and Kamala for open borders. And if anyone's actually waiting to ever see those signs for those actions, it's never going to happen. So just move on and make your peace with it. If we're going to get any of these people, it's going to be on process crimes like mortgage fraud or other things. It's like getting Capone for skipping his taxes. Then we've got donkeys. It's a political cartoon with donkeys with looking for
the blue
Democratic
puzzle
Party big picture puzzle, trying to put it together. So
it's all just blue pieces.
It's all just blue pieces, and they just can't figure out how to put it together. And then Jasmine Crockett yelling, "I didn't say which Jeffrey Epstein." And then it's the bottom half is Sydney Sweeney with "Quiet Piggy."
The same face from The Interview.
I know that Mad recently did you watch her rom-com?
Yeah, I thought she was okay, but I like the movie way more than I thought I was going to.
Mad was casually attracted to Glenn Powell more in the movie from his charisma.
I mean, if you look at him, he's better looking.
Especially on the cliff scene.
Especially on the eyes.
Yeah, her eyes, man. She has a lot of crow's feet and stuff going on.
She got a lot. I mean, I'm not saying.
And she does have that eye switch going on, the sitch going on, the eye situation.
Let's see. Then we've got Mark Safe from being based in India today. That's in reference to X now showing the country of origin on accounts.
Yes,
which is a fun thing to see.
I love how it was latched on to, though, that all the MAGA accounts it's just a big Israeli thing, and it's like almost everything I saw was coming from India. India and Pakistan seemed to be the countries that most people were attached to, not Israel. There may have been a few Israel ones, but I didn't see. Granted, I didn't go through a lot of them.
Well, the big one that people were bringing up was the Homeland Security. That was the one where apparently initially there was like a glitch or something. Is what they're saying. And when people were looking at the Homeland Security account, it was saying it was in Israel.
The official one?
Yeah, the official one.
Are we sure that wasn't just people editing screenshots?
No, I mean it's also a possibility, but
I think the Homeland Security. I think they had to come out and say something about it.
They had to legitimately say something that it was a glitch by X, and X I think said it as well. And you have all these people saying, "No, man, this is it's a fucking psyop and all the shit. It's like, I have no fucking clue. I mean, you could have people editing it, maybe, but I think there probably was something to it.
All right, then our next meme is nobody knew who you were until you got on your knees, and we've got Kamala Harris, and Monica Lewinsky, and Colin
Kaepernick.
Fun fact about Colin Kaepernick: he was perfectly fine until he got involved
with his starting job.
No, until he got involved with a
woke white woman.
A woke, I think she's a mixed race, maybe, or and she activated all his. Once again, it's always a crazy Karen type.
Yeah,
bring Colin Kaepernick was on top of the world. He was the starter for the 49ers, just in a Super Bowl, even though he got his ass kicked. But
they came back towards. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. That was Baltimore that came back.
No, it was Baltimore was winning, just trouncing them, and then somebody shut down the entire power grid to allow the 49ers to get a 40-minute delay. So that
didn't it also give the Ravens a 40-minute delay?
Yeah, but they had momentum. You lose the momentum. You know this.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's how sports work.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oddly enough, Baltimore opening up against Denver the next year, they also had a power outage in the first game of the year.
All right, and then we have the a George Soros instant protester kit, and this one comes with no clue of what you're protesting.
Of course,
with
most of them.
Yeah,
as long as you're getting your paycheck.
When there are no police, most crimes will carry the death penalty, and you've got a meme of Clint Eastwood, I believe, from Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Holding what looks like an M1A classic army battle rifle.
Yeah, that's from Gran Torino.
Yep. And I think, do we have another batch? Nope, no more.
All right.
So there's our memes.
Comics, you gonna self-promote this week?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So if you guys tuned in on Friday when I was doing my stream of Cyberpunk 2077, my computer crashed or froze. I restarted it, tried to play again, and immediately froze. I was like, fucking, I'm out of here. So I don't know if my GPU is overheating that's causing a problem, because when I was touching my computer, the glass was pretty fucking warm, and I was not getting any kind of alerts on my motherboard saying it was too hot. So yeah, that's kind of weird, man. But other than that, tomorrow we'll be streaming as always 9 p.m. Central on my channel. Same thing with Thursday. Friday, I think we're going to try and have a members movie night. That all kind of depends on Culture Casino and how he's feeling. So we'll see. If not, it'll probably be trying to play Cyberpunk again and having my computer lock up right in the middle of something.
For tomorrow night, for Comics' show, we will be doing another deep dive into Landman episode 2.
Fuck, I need to watch that episode.
So
I forgot.
Watch Landman before tomorrow night's show if you're going to come watch, unless you want to be spoiled.
Yep, please do.
Mad?
Yeah.
What's up this week?
So Tuesday we'll be finishing the second half of the story of the most famous taxidermist you've ever not heard of. We left where we left off. Where he was headbutted into the ground by a giant
cliffhanger. Yeah, the elephant.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, he was headbutted into the ground by a giant elephant bull. Will he live? Probably, because we have a whole second part of the story to get to. So it's very interesting. Go check out part 1. It's Tuesday at 9.
Mad's new channel. Links are in the description for everybody.
If anybody wants to donate right now to Brahma's stream and make a contribution, Mad will share the memes on the MadEPAP show that he always says he won't unless we reach our goal, because the goal's here too.
No, the goal is not here. Why would the goal be
Mad,
here?
why you are a co-host here?
Lil Chad, what do you got coming up?
Well, apparently I'm the only one who's a good co-host trying to help the show out, not unlike Mad. We got MadEPAP on Tuesday. leading, like he said, just finishing up the story there. Then we've got the Ascendant Art Podcast Friday, more gaming news that we didn't get to last week because there's tons of gaming. I think the only movie that is new coming out that I might take my family sees is Zootopia 2. Might have that.
Oof, Disney.
Yeah, well, my kid loved Zootopia 1, so in this one to him.
But Zootopia is filled with fucking ideology, though, man.
There's Deeple on his way out the door.
It makes me
for
laugh
$1
because the
for the meme
sloth
fund.
is slow, and he works at the DMV. It's fine. $1 for the meme fund. See that, Mad? It worked.
Night, Coach.
You still there, Mad?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh,
waiting on something relevant to respond to.
If anybody has a super chat that would be relevant to Mad, please go ahead and post that now.
You're just trying to not go to bed, aren't you?
I mean, I'm trying to get money in the door.
Well, you can always
we gotta help our boy out.
You can always put up a picture of Leslie Headland saying, "I got to keep this up until somebody pays me $50."
Right. As for me, I will be on Comic Show tomorrow night talking about Landman. I'll be on Mad Show on Tuesday night. Wednesday, I'm night off. Thursday, I'm hosting Thanksgiving, so I'm not likely to be on Comic Show. Friday, I'll be back on Ascendant Art. Saturday, there's no bourbon and boarding this week, so it'll be back the following week, and then we've got the Bullpen again next Sunday. So hope everybody has a great evening, and well, I mean, it's way past evening now, I guess. Great night. Here's some end credits. We'll probably talk over like usual.
Yep. You should reach out to Brian Kelly to see if he wants to be in bourbon and boarding because he doesn't have anything to do in football right now.
I have no idea.
Chip Kelly, I should say.
Oh, okay.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Because his ass got fired for losing to Shador Sanders.
As he should be. Deeple for another $1. For the Mad Chismo is no longer a co-host and becomes a returning guest fund.
Why would you do that? What the hell?
That's a double hit from Deeple on you.
Banned.
I don't think you have a wrench, Jay.
Base Deeple.
At least in spirit.
In spirit. I got a new wrench this week.
From Harbor Freight?
No. From one Alex Stein.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's got to be a nice chaotic mess.
I'm still mad at him for not making the bro over.
Well,
I mean, did you?
Seeing as how he had an actual college event that week, it was a little bit hard for him to actually show up.
No, it wasn't. He chose what he chose.
All I hear is a bunch of crying from you, man.
Yeah.
He really wanted that three-way with Quarter Black and Alex.
Clearly he did.
We were going to become best friends. He just doesn't know it.
You and Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that working. I'm going to hit him up to get on here.
Nothing wrong with that.
Brace for impact, buddy.
Yeah, but it'll be fun. All right, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we will catch you next week. Say what?
What? I thought we were already playing the credits.
The credits have been playing this whole time.
Yeah. Oh, were they? Oh,
credits were on the whole time, buddy.
I'm over in a Premiere Pro.
Loser.
True.